Welcome, Internet, to the Place of Video Games podcast. It's your boy, Dat Ninja Dev.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Joined as always by Donnie Eat the Hype Reese.
Yo.
And Delvin, you motherfucker Cox. You son of a
Welcome
bitch.
home, Dev.
Welcome. I ain't been cheating. I just been out. Been living
with your
life.
other family.
Did this for Dev.
We are back, baby. We are fucking back. We're back. Classic. We are back. Yes, we are back.
Oh,
See, that's what I would expect. That's what I appreciate. Thank you, Donnie. Fuck you, Delvin.
no.
I think the listeners missed you, Joe, most notably.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Joe. I wasn't here to tell you how shitty that PlayStation showcase was.
It's old
terrible.
news. Can't talk about it.
It is old news. It was old bad news. I'm sorry, Joe. They let all you PlayStation people down. Like pure PlayStation people. That
Ready to throw it out?
Like Rob 3000.
Ready
You're
to
a PlayStation person.
Pure PlayStation fan, Rob 3000.
I mean, he is the most PlayStation person I've ever known, right?
It's the race draft.
Yeah.
Y'all can take him. Y'all can keep him.
Yeah.
We, the PC delegation, want no part. We relinquish all rights. He's been traded for future draft considerations. Okay? We don't even have to agree to terms.
Yeah, we've waived him immediately. We're looking
salary
for,
dump. We're looking for cap savings.
Yeah, we're gonna save cap. We're just dumping him automatically. He's been
We
waived.
treat him like Chris Paul.
Chris
He's
Paul.
out of here.
He's out of here.
He's our Chris Paul.
He's not even Rob 3000. He's Rob 1500. He's like half. All right.
Yeah. Rob Paul.
Put your PS5 in a drawer. Just get that shit out of here.
He broke it out. He's all about it, man. Have you seen the Discord
Nah.
the last 2 weeks? Ever since that showcase, Rob 3000 is here for it. He is there.
No.
Him and Uncle Jim are like this, son. Like this.
Don't give me that shit.
I'm
He just wants to
embarrassed
break the
and
PS5 out because it matches these damn speakers he's gonna get. He doesn't
That's
care about
true.
the games. He's just
That's probably true, though. Yeah, that's probably true.
God damn
It just
shit,
matches.
nonsense.
That is part of that. It's basically it.
Absolute nonsense
Whoa,
and
boy.
shenanigans.
He's going to take a couple pictures with his phone, and he's going to start eyeing it like, why do I have this thing again?
Yep.
Yeah. That's
He's
the
gonna be like,
problem.
well, I played this for 3 days and now I'm done. And this blue color scheme is looking real nice. So he's gonna go ahead and change everything out yet again. It's nonsense.
Just embarrassing. Just embarrassing.
Y'all can keep him.
Yeah.
We don't want him.
The waiver
Keep
wire.
the
can keep
Ghost of
him. He's a
Tsushima
free agent.
and the Final Fantasy. Like he's team XP.
No, get that shit out.
The
of here.
new
Nobody-
host
First and
of
foremost.
PlayStation
First and
Experience,
foremost, Final Fantasy.
Rob
we're not claiming that shit,
3000.
all right? We are not claiming Final
That ain't
Fantasy, all right? No.
Oh,
All right?
you have to
We're not
claim
claiming
Final
that shit.
Fantasy.
No,
That
we
is
don't.
as
It's gonna be on PC eventually. We're not claiming that shit, all right? Stop it.
Players
Ghost of
will do it.
Tsushima? Absolutely.
that's going to be on PC too.
Maybe.
Yeah, it definitely is.
In like
It
4 more
definitely
years,
is.
probably.
Nah, it
how
definitely-
will it run on PC though?
like
Yeah.
trash.
Stop pushing that. Yeah.
It depends.
Like
they've
absolute
got a good PC port studio and a bad PC port
In
studio.
a bad one. Which
Yeah.
one? Is
Which
Ghost of
one is
Tsushima
handling
getting?
Ghost of Tsushima? Nobody knows.
We would have thought The Last of Us got the good one.
You'd think.
Apparently, not at all.
Not.
That's not how that works.
Not
Apparently
even a
not.
little bit.
Anyways, enough of that. I'm back. I've played absolutely nothing. I
Yes,
haven't
he's back.
touched the system in at
Me
least
neither,
a week.
really.
I haven't played
How was
shit.
vacation?
It was cool.
You did a
know?
lot of stuff. You don't have to talk about video games.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't do a lot of stuff. I was just not here. So I went to Disneyland
Didn't
for
you
my
go to
daughter's
lot of
birthday.
stuff.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's a lot of
Okay.
stuff. That's what a lot of stuff means. I went to
Yeah.
Disneyland.
Yeah, Disneyland and Disney California Adventure. So it was 2 days of that.
That's too much.
I agree.
Just
You should
one of them
never
is too
spend
much, but
an
like both.
entire
is-
day
oof.
at California Adventure. Like it's just
No,
not enough
thanks.
to spend a day. But the way the prices
Yeah.
are set, it's a mess.
All
had
of
a
our
really good
friends
time
are
at
out there.
Disneyland, though.
Mike Minotti's out
Really?
there. Grubb's out there. Everybody's in town for
Good for them.
Summer Games Fest,
I'm cool.
whatever.
Good for them. I'm glad I'm not there.
Hmm.
I'm happy to be home. I've spent enough time away. I'm ready to be here, sitting in front of my computer and chilling out for the
How
summer.
hot was it?
I'm done. It wasn't hot at all. That's the problem. Like, so global warming, I guess. I don't know. It was cold and rainy at Disneyland both
Weird.
days. And then in Cabo, the highest it got was 80. And it
It's
was
been
really
somewhat
windy.
mild here so far through like most of May. I was like, this is kind of nice. Today it was
Yeah.
93, and I was like, oh god, here it comes.
So it rained and thunderstormed last night and the day before out here in Bakersfield. So we've been getting rain these past couple of days, and our high has been like 80 when it's normally like 95.
Well, that's good though. You
96.
guys are like on fire, right? So like some rain is
No.
nice.
No, we're not on fire, and there's no
Just
fires
Canada?
right now for us. That's just Canada.
That's
Gotcha.
Canada.
It's Canadian. That's their problem. We're not in fire season just yet. Eventually, but with
Gotcha.
as wet as it's been out
I
here,
just
don't
assume
know.
that like there's a part of California just perpetually on fire.
Yes.
Typically, yes,
The
but
economy.
Yeah.
not this year. This year, we're underwater. We had flood advisories yesterday and the day before. Like, we've just been underwater all year. It's ridiculous. First year that I can remember in my lifetime where it's not a drought.
It's gonna be a good year for wine country.
Well, y'all wanted water.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Got
always
it.
want water because it's
Got
always dry as hell out here. So we got it.
Damn grass has never been greener.
My grass is dead. It's not green at all. It's not green at all. Not taking good care of it. Fuck that grass. I want turf.
I'm with
hate
you there.
grass. But yeah, just Disneyland 2 days and then Cabo for my uncle's wedding. That was fun. We just sat in the pool, drank, and that was it. I didn't do a whole lot of anything.
Cheers.
And then I wish I had a beer right now. And then travel. I hate travel. Just, oh God, especially international, having to go through customs and all that.
Dude, I hate
Just
traveling. Tell
takes
my
the-
wife that.
Ugh.
Traveling is like one of those things that like hiking that everybody says they like to do, but I don't feel like it's true.
Yeah.
I hate traveling. I really
do I.
do. It's not, obviously the destination is hopefully good. Hopefully you've picked a good place to go to, and that's always fine.
Yeah.
But I hate the rigmarole of dealing with especially air travel. Like
Same.
if I'm traveling, I would prefer to drive. Even long distances, I would prefer to drive if possible.
I'm not
Because
fuck that.
I feel so much more comfortable and so much more like enjoyable driving, listening to music that I'm wanting, stopping where I want, eating where I want, than being stuffed in a plane and waiting in line and getting checked and taking my shoes off and getting, like the constant lines and waiting and taxi. I hate that. I cannot stand that so much that if somebody was like, you've won a trip to Hawaii, I'd probably look to like sell it or auction it to somebody at like half the price.
Wow.
Like it's the sheer act of like the travel to get there is such a turnoff that I'd rather not go. And I think that's the biggest reason why I'm not much of a travel person. Like I don't have like a desire to see the world and see all the, like I'm good.
Yeah. What I can say is this has been the shortest lines that I've had to go through TSA and everything. It was actually really
That's
easy.
nice.
They're not making you take your shoes off anymore. So that was all pretty quick. And luckily customs wasn't a terribly long line either time going or coming. So it wasn't too bad. I think for me, it's just all the packing and all the leading up to, especially when it's the whole family. If it's just me,
when you've
I
got
don't
kids
care.
and it's
Yeah. It's just
even
me.
harder.
I'm fine. I'm glad that my kids are fine to the point where they're starting to be out of car seats. So I don't have to also travel with one of those because that shit's a pain in the ass. I cannot stand that.
When I do
Then
work
you
trips
add
by
on-
myself, it is lighter. It's brisker,
Yeah.
obviously.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
so much easy. I'm packing. I pack light as it is.
Yeah.
So like I'm good. I don't got a whole lot. I got my headphones. I got this music. I'm chilling. I'm fine. But when you have the kids who are constantly complaining, they want this, they want that. Can I have this? And then they just start messing with each other. I'm like, I'm going to throw you both in a locker and leave you here because you're driving me insane.
That's the thing. That's the reason why every time we've gone on vacations like that, I never feel like it's a vacation at all. It's like
It feels like
more
work.
stressful than work.
Yeah,
It's like I'd rather just
Absolutely.
work. I'd rather just go work than this. This is terrible.
1000%. That's why whenever my wife's like, we need to go on a vacation, I'm like, I don't know. That's work for me. It's not.
For lately, for a
I never
while,
feel relaxed.
my wife and I, we just go on vacation ourselves and we pawn the kids off somewhere else. We just
Yeah.
go out, the two of us. That's much more enjoyable.
that's what we've been trying to do, and that's what we used to do, but we haven't had anybody to watch the kids. Like, even trying to get out of here this time, the original babysitter that we were gonna have, she threw out her back and couldn't watch the kids.
Damn.
Then
Damn.
the backup babysitter that we were gonna
What
have,
an excuse.
her-
Can't
Right.
even clap back at that.
yeah, her daughter got COVID, so she couldn't come watch. So we had to go to like the third and fourth option, which like ended up having to be two different people because one of them wasn't available the first day, and then we had to get her the second day. So even that was
Oh,
just
man.
a crazy rigmarole, which is like just the biggest pain in the ass. It makes me miss my mom and my mother-in-law so much because anytime we needed somebody to watch the kids, they were there, they were down, no problem. Now trying to find babysitters and find people that can watch the kids is just a pain in the ass.
Even traveling itself,
Pain
I think
in the
we've
ass.
talked about this before, but usually whenever I get anywhere, the last few vacations I've gone to, go to the beach, go to the mountains, go to New York City, Miami, Denver, anywhere I go, I'm there for 72 hours, ready to come home.
Yeah.
It's like I get like one good day of me like, this is cool. And then I'm like, we should go though. Like, I'm just not, it's not in me. Like, I don't want to go anywhere. It doesn't matter how much fun I'm having. I was in New York City having a ball. I love New York City. Really only want to go for maybe 2 days. And then I want to come home.
Yeah, we were there we got in on Friday and got back on Tuesday. And my wife was very upset that we weren't there for like the entire week. I was like, I don't want to do this for longer than this. This is the perfect amount of time. I got my relaxation on for like 2 days, and now I'm bored and ready to come home.
Yeah. Yeah, it's me.
There's only so much pool I can take.
My wife makes fun of me all the time. It doesn't matter where we go, maybe a day or two. And I'm like, you want to leave early? I always hit her with that no matter where we go. I think, Delvin, you're quite the opposite based on me listening to you and your extensive travels.
I realize I enjoy traveling, but when I'm by myself,
Is that the
if
difference?
no one else is with me, yeah.
Mm.
If I'm alone and I don't have to be on someone else's schedule or like timetable things they want to do, I pretty much enjoy it a lot. Like I just like, and the best thing I think about it is like when it's time to go home, okay, I've had enough fun. I can go home and just leave and be done with it. I think that's kind of the big difference. Like even when I went what's that earlier this year? I went to Disney Universal Studios by myself. The time when I go to Universal Studios by myself, so much more of an enjoyable experience because I'm a single rider. I just go through the lines with the single riders. It's like always like really quick. So I could do the whole park in like 2 hours, have my fun. I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go home now. I'm good. I can go back to the hotel and chill out or go explore Orlando and still have plenty of time in the day. As opposed to being there all day because I have to wait 3 hours in the Harry Potter ride.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of makes a big difference. Going with the kids is fun too, but it's a different type of fun. It's more like, and even them now, they've got to that age. Like last time we went, they asked like, hey, they was asked, do y'all want to go to Universal Studios? They're like, nah, we just rather see Orlando and go to the shops. I'm like, okay. And that's where they had fun, going to the shops
nice.
and like stuff like that.
And we've
had no interest in going to Universal or Disney, anything like that.
The things I've been doing lately when we do family vacations, I'll get separate hotel rooms and give the kids their own room. And like when we went to Ohio, we stopped somewhere halfway. We stopped there and got hotel rooms for everybody. And then we came back and stopped at the same place on the way back. I swear to you, they had more fun just at the hotel. I should have just went to a hotel. They had more fun at the hotel than they did at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, than they did at the Indians game, than they did of seeing where I'm from. Like they didn't give a shit about any of that stuff. They were like, this hotel's cool. It's got a workout room. It's got a sauna. It's got a pool.
Game room, some cases.
Yeah, there was a restaurant like right across the street. So they had their own room. So they were living it up. They were enjoying themselves.
I want to clarify. Did you get them their own room, or did you do the thing where they have the two hotel rooms connected together?
No, I gave them their own room.
Okay,
we're on the same floor, but they were like on the back side, I think. Like around, like you had to go around the corner behind us.
Because they have the hotel rooms with the double like rooms that's connected together.
Yeah,
that's what we usually do.
Yeah, my wife's always talking about those. I don't think we've ever seen one. At least the places we've gone to, they didn't have those.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's literally
I
like
think
its own
I've
hotel,
seen
other hotel
one,
room.
I
but
haven't-
not for a
Yeah, I haven't
long
seen those in a long
time.
time.
Yeah,
haven't seen those in a
I
long
felt like
time
that was a
either.
thing when I was little. Is that
Mhm.
still a thing these days? Like today?
I can't remember
Yeah.
the last hotel I've been
Because
in
there
actually
can't be
had
that many families. So like, are just regular strangers getting those rooms and they're connected? Because that seems weird.
Families.
Fuck
It's
if I
more
know.
like
I
it's
said,
like
I ain't seen one in forever.
Yeah.
it's separated off, so I guess the adults can have their room and the kids can have theirs. But
Yeah.
it's like you can walk in through
Like
through
you
like
put
a
that in
door, like an
quotes.
entryway.
Like it literally is what it is, and you were like, but you know, the adults can have their room.
Well, it
the kids
depends, you
can
know. It depends, you know. Sometimes you can travel with your friends, so sometimes friends share different rooms and stuff with couples or
Thruples,
swingers or what.
Delvin
Thruple,
and
yeah, whatever they
That's
wanna do.
his
that's Delvin's
friends.
life.
Absolutely
Yeah.
not.
Delvin and his friends.
Mhm.
There's the quotes.
That
That is
thruple
how you
life.
use quotes correctly, Delvin.
No, there will be no thruple.
Okay.
So
Sure,
much
buddy.
thrupling.
Nah.
Yeah.
I
We're
realize
never in the hotel long enough to get the kids their own room. We're literally there to sleep. Anytime we go anywhere, we're there literally just to
Y'all
go
are
to
too
sleep,
busy.
like, get back out.
So I like to sleep in.
Look, when we went
I
to
don't leave the
Disneyland,
hotel room until like 11.
we didn't get to the hotel room like until probably 11. And then we didn't get to bed until probably 1 because we were also decorating it for my daughter to wake up and see like happy birthday and all the stuff.
That's awesome.
And then we were trying to be at Disneyland like
Delvin out
as
here, or
soon as
Devin
it
out here
opened.
just being super dad.
Man, that's all the wife. She tells me what she wants and I just try to execute. So
Smart. You a good coach,
Yeah.
star player.
yeah,
basically.
that's what I got to do.
that's how we get down.
Keep your
Awesome,
wife
man.
happy. Happy wife, happy life.
It's the truth.
Don't be like me.
I'm pretty much like you. That's not true. I
you
definitely
just
don't
feel
do
better.
I don't do like the happy wife, happy life thing, like at my own detriment. I think I do a lot to make her happy, but like basically I just let her be. Like she's just a swirl of whatever's going on, and I'm just kind of orbiting it. I'm just around, you know. But I basically just take her lead. Whatever she wants, she gets.
Yeah.
Like, well, your mom wants to go out, we're going out. Your mom doesn't want you to do that, we're not doing that. Kids will come to me all the time. Dad, what do you think? Whatever your mom thinks.
Leave me alone.
Leave me alone.
That's a good way to live life.
That's it.
Yeah, my wife.
She's
is
more or
not
less
like
my
that.
representative. Do you take that up with my representative, please?
My wife is not having that. She's like,
So we have an
"You figure
HR
this shit out.
department.
Leave me the hell
You need
alone."
to file your complaint over there.
Well, Delvin, what the fuck you been up to?
Well, I ain't been playing no games. It's crazy because this podcast called Play Some Video Games, and I haven't played a goddamn thing.
Damn you guys.
Wow.
I've been busy, man. I'm still enjoying Tears of the Kingdom when I get a chance to play it. But, you know, that's really it. And I
About that
played
Steam
the
Deck.
tutorial
Elden
for
Ring.
Street Fighter. I'm not playing no Elden Ring on no Steam Deck. Somebody told me I should get Diablo on Steam Deck.
I
don't know
can't
about
Sure,
that
why
shit.
not?
talk to Steam Deck. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'd be okay, but I mean, if you
Gotta ask
launch
Rob
it,
3000.
yeah, if you launch Diablo on Steam, like one, is it just native on Steam Deck? You've got to run it
It's
through
not.
Battle.net, right?
Yeah, you gotta run through Battle.net. It's not on Steam. It's only
Are
on
you
Battle.net.
set
I
up
think
to
so.
run it through Battle.net? Have you already set up Battle.net?
Come on.
I'm not going through all that.
It's a lost cause then.
No.
See, it's a lost
Come on.
cause.
Absolutely not. I will say this. I bought the thing you told me to get. The
What thing?
dock.
Oh,
The dock you
nice.
told me about.
I hope you like it.
I haven't hooked. I'm gonna get a M2 drive for it, and I'm gonna try it out.
Dude, I got a 1 terabyte M2 drive for like $40 on Amazon.
They're very,
I might-
very
They've just
inexpensive now.
cratered in price. Like they're so cheap at the
Well, that's
moment.
great.
Yeah,
so
it was
Dan,
a.
you're the,
Did you get a Gen 4 drive, Gen 3? Do you even know?
I'll look it up. I don't know.
Because the speeds are drastically different as well.
I got one. I think it was the one for the PlayStation. I think it was the same one I bought for the PS5.
Okay. That'll be Gen 4 then.
It was
Yeah,
on
they've
sale on Amazon for $49.99, and I got a renewed one for like $38, like a refurbished one.
wow, that's a great deal.
It was like
Did
it
we
was,
tell you
it was
about
not
this, Dev?
refurbished. It's like the Amazon, like it was like basically like a return. It was like open box
Yeah.
but new
Mhm.
condition.
Okay.
Yeah, for $38.
And no, you didn't tell
Okay.
me whatever the hell you're talking about.
Okay. So Donnie told me about this Steam Deck dock that you can use for the
The
What
Ally.
did he say he's going to use
The
for
ROG
the
Ally, which I can say apparently runs Diablo fantastically. I've been watching so many people are playing Diablo in that thing, and there was running it at like 80 frames a second. It looks glorious. But yes, continue.
Yeah, it's a Steam Deck dock that has an M2 drive on it.
It's got a slot for an M2 drive.
It's got storage. It's got a storage
Yeah.
drive. Okay.
So you slot the drive into the dock. It's got a little cover, and then it's got all your I/O. You got 3 USB ports, Ethernet, HDMI, USB-C, and it was built for Steam Deck. It's like a little cradle, and you just sit in it, and it's got a little plug, and you plug into it. And because
it's better than the one they sell,
because it's
by a lot.
USB-C, it works for the Ally. You know, it's the same thing. You could use it for anything. You could use it with a Chromebook or anything. But yeah, I bought it, and it went into my entertainment center where my Switch used to be. So I was looking at it as a way of I'll be able to play my PC stuff in my chair. So if I'm wanting to play a game that I'm playing on PC, but I just don't want to sit at my desk, sometimes I don't want to sit in this chair, which I'm hoping changes. I bought a new chair. I'm getting a new chair tomorrow.
You buy a chair like every 9 months, I swear.
Except for here's the difference. This isn't an office chair. I bought a legit armchair. Like I bought like an actual like living room sofa chair to come sit behind my desk. But yeah, so I no longer have any more office chairs or anything like that. I think that's the issue. But yeah, anyway, if I want to go over and recline and kick back like I used to with the Switch, this dock that I showed Delvin will be wired into my console, and I can just plug in the Ally.
All right.
Yeah. Like I said, it looks nicer than the Steam Deck dock. So I said, I'll try it.
It does look very nice, doesn't it? It's like very clean, looks nice, official. Yeah.
Clean, weighty to it, little weight to it. Like, all right.
How does it recognize the installs on the M2 drive? Does it just always pull up the same drive listing?
I don't have my Ally yet, so I haven't used it, but I would assume, at least on the Ally, I have no idea about the Steam Deck. I would assume on the Ally, when you plug it in, it would just be like you're plugging in any drive. It would just recognize it as an external drive, and you would map it and just set it.
I just wonder if it always will pull up the same drive. That's why, like, I never really like installing games on externals, because sometimes the drive lettering gets misconfigured. You're like, oh, the game's not there. I can't find it.
You know that
every now and again.
I only install my stuff on externals. So for however long I've had this PC, I've only been running on external.
But that's the desktop, because it doesn't move anywhere. So your drive letters aren't going to change. But
for the Ally, it'll be the same. Yeah, for the Ally, it'll be exactly the same, because it just views it as a PC. Again, Steam Deck, I can't speak to. No idea.
I can't believe you run all your games on externals. That's so much
all
slower.
of them. I had never really run into an issue. Redfall was like the one that I thought maybe, and I put it in the C drive, and I did see a little improvement, but not a lot. Not maybe 5 frames a second. We're not talking.
Yeah. I have several drives, but they're all internal drives. So I've got 2 M2s and 2 solid state drives.
I have 2 external SSDs.
Yeah, fuck external, fuck USB. You guys
are both 2 terabytes. So I have 4 terabytes of external, and that's where all my games are installed to. Steam, Ubisoft, EA, whatever, Game Pass.
Yeah, Bland just said exactly what I was going to say. The Steam Deck will be fine. It formats as an external drive with the same letters. Yeah,
same. Of course. There you go.
It'll always do that. Just again, when you undock and redock and plug something else in every now and again. It's just, I don't like external shit. Just my own.
Just show right there.
I don't think he's going to dock anything else to it. It's just for the Steam Deck.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's dedicated dock.
I don't fuck with it. Just no, thank you.
Fair enough. It's weird, but sure.
Yeah. Oh, I will tell you guys a fun story.
We love fun stories. So,
for those who don't know, my son's Spider-Verse just came out like last week. My son's a huge Miles Morales fan, like big time. He loves Miles Morales. I love Miles Morales as well. Yeah, it definitely does. So I didn't know he was doing this, but I guess he was saving up his money, because on opening night, he wanted to go to the theater dressed as Miles Morales.
That's cool.
So when he finally told me about his plan, I think he was missing gloves. He wanted to get some red Nikes, which he couldn't find. And he wanted to get, he wanted gloves and some red Nikes.
Just any red Nikes? That's some Jordan ones, like it's supposed to be.
Yeah, like
Okay.
some red Nike.
Dev's
So
going hard. Dev out here shooting on little kids at movie theaters.
Look,
Those
I was
aren't
just
tight
thinking if he wanted-
shoes.
Did he want to go, authentic Jordan 1 breads or just some Nike Dunks? Just
Yeah.
curious.
he
just
was
curious.
trying to go with what he can afford because he was trying to do all
Mhm.
this on his own,
Like most people,
and he was
except
trying.
Dev.
Yeah, and he was trying to do it like kind of like how Miles did it in the movies, like trying to make his own costume and stuff like that. So when I found out, I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. I'm like proud of him. Like he's taking initiative to do this stuff. He couldn't find any Nikes that was cheap enough, so he was like, I'll see if I just get some shoes. But while he was doing it, I said, because he was looking for gloves. He couldn't find no like gloves that were right anywhere. So I said, let's go to the dollar store, see if we find some gloves there. They always have like gloves and stuff there. We go to the dollar store. We don't see any gloves that work.
I don't think my dollar store has
But
gloves.
ours has everything there. And this goes to show what I'm telling about everything. We don't see gloves that work.
But they
But
got
we
red Nike.
do see, you're close, a pair of fake Air Jordans
There you go.
and they're black and red
Jesus.
So I said,
At
how
the
much-
dollar store?
at the dollar store. They had
What
like
the
stacks of them.
I guarantee you my dollar store doesn't have that. That's got to be a
Neither does
Miami
mine.
dollar store type thing.
This is some Miami shit.
Yes,
This was
it
not a
probably
dollar-
is.
It was a bodega. It was something else.
Right.
So I was like, I asked the guy, like, how much are those? $20.
$20. So see, that's
I'm
not a dollar store then. It's not a
Well,
dollar store.
nothing
Well,
at the dollar store is $1 anymore.
So that's all
Exactly.
$1.25.
Yeah, it's all $1.25. They should change it to $1.25 general.
But
Yeah,
$20.
There's nothing in the dollar store $1 anymore. $20.
$1 1/4
So
general.
I said,
Right. 1 and a quarter.
1 and a
general.
quarter
That's what they should
store.
call it. 1 and a quarter.
so I
store.
said,
I like it.
I said,
$1 1/4
why don't you-
store.
so why don't you just get those? Because it's a costume, so it'll fit the costume and the aesthetic of it. For those who watched the Spider-Verse movie, he was
Hang on,
trying
hang
to
on.
dress like Miles did.
Store 125.
Even better.
See?
That
I'm
is
still
good.
saying we're
That
supposed
is
to be
good.
listening to Del, and I'm sitting here like trying to think of names. I'm branding the new Dollar General.
Oh man. But yeah, so I told him to get those shoes. He said, "Okay, I'll get those shoes," because he's trying to dress like Miles. You know how close to the end of the movie when Miles had the jacket,
Mm-hmm.
like the school jacket, and had the
Yes.
costume under that. And
Yeah.
that's how he was trying to dress with the shorts. Yeah. So he ended up getting the shoes. And me, I said, you know what? Since he couldn't find any good gloves, I said, let me go on Amazon and see if I can find some gloves. I go on Amazon. I find the actual gloves for Miles Morales for like $10. And they'll come like the next day. I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'll order him the gloves. And while I'm ordering the gloves, I said, you know what? There's the fucking Miles Morales mask right there. Like a real good Miles Morales mask. I'll order him the gloves and the mask. So
You should have ordered
I
the
ordered him the
Jordans.
gloves and the mask. Nah, I ain't paying that much for the Jordans. Not for no one-day costume. Absolutely not. So
I
I
would
ordered him the
imagine Miles
gloves and-
Morales is a popular like cosplay Halloween outfit. So I've been thinking that this whole time, like that shouldn't be that difficult to pull off.
I would think it. I would think it would be.
Same.
But I will say. So let me finish the story so I can tell you about how it went. So the only thing he was waiting for was the jacket, because it's the actual jacket from the Spider-Verse movies and stuff to come in. The gloves and the mask came in the next day. He wasn't expecting to wear a mask. Like, you got to have the whole mask. You got to have the whole costume. I know you can't wear it in theaters, but while you walk around the mall, you can wear it. So,
Your theaters
They
in a
come in
mall?
yeah,
They still do that?
that's not a common thing. Yes.
I haven't been to a theater, a mall that had a theater
Oh,
in-
oh.
since I was a kid.
I haven't been to a mall.
Most of
since
our
I was a
malls
kid.
have theaters. Most of our malls have theaters. I can't. Ain't too
We
many
only
malls
have
that don't
one mall here
theaters.
in Bakersfield, and it does not have a theater.
We don't have a mall
Yeah,
that's
they
really
have-
nearby. Like if I want to go to a mall, it's an hour plus away.
Yeah, when I was in the valley, the mall didn't have a theater.
The one
The
that I
theater was
think is still
elsewhere.
open, I don't think has a theater.
Wow,
I didn't know they
that's
still did
surprising.
that.
Like every, yeah, shoot, most
Georgia's
of the malls I know
more-
that's down here.
Georgia's
theaters.
more spread out. We have like more like concentrated like shopping centers. Like there's like a nearby in like Kennesaw, there's like a sector that has a lot of mall-like things. There's like a JCPenney and stuff, and they're like separate buildings, but they're all kind of in the same parking lot. And there is a theater
Okay.
nearby. So like it's kind of the
Okay.
same thing, but they're not like in a building. You can't like just walk in and just go to all the different stores. You have to go to
Yeah,
each parking lot.
This is an actual theater.
Yeah, you're
inside
kicking
the
like
mall.
old
Like,
school.
you have to go into like
Yeah, that's like for real
Yeah,
old
like you-
school. Like
Yeah.
you're in the 80s still.
We don't
bro.
have that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I
that's
hear.
surprising. Like the
I mean,
mall
I-
closes
yeah.
at 9, the theater closes at like 1. So when you leave the theater, the mall's closed.
How good are
That's
those
that's how.
theaters? Like, I feel like that's got to be really small screens and everything. Like, they're better
Oh
than
no, they're
that.
pretty big. It's pretty decent size. It's AMC. You know, I always go get the IMAX in there. The IMAX of the they have an AMC version of IMAX. It's pretty much the same thing, but they have like reclining chairs, so that you can lay all the way back. Because the regular AMC IMAX has nice sofa chairs, but they don't recline back. And the specialized one has the ones you can lean all the way back, but that's not good because it has the chair you can lean back, but it doesn't have enough space. So if anybody has to use the bathroom, you have to pull the chair all the way back up. I'm like, yeah, that's a mess. But I digress. So the last minute on Thursday, his jacket comes in. So he's excited and stuff like that. Hyped up. Friday morning, he puts the costume together. It looks amazing. He looks like Miles. I'm super happy for him. So
How's his
before
hair?
we go, his hair's kind of like Miles. Like
Okay.
it's kind of like puffed up. It's kind of,
Okay.
Delvin has
All
like a little fur almost. So I said, you know
Unlike
what?
his dad, he's got
Let's
hair.
do something fun. Yes, unlike his dad, he has a lot of hair.
The Delvin with hair.
Yes, way better looking than me. So I was like, let's do something fun. I'll take him outside of my house. I said, let's do like a quick photo shoot. So I took a bunch of pictures of him in the costume and stuff like that. I photoshopped him to make it like he's like in the city doing like cool Spider-Man things. So I sent him to him like, hey, here's your Miles Morales photo set. Would you use Spider-Man? One of the pictures was so good, I made it my wallpaper on my phone.
Why the hell
then-
didn't you share this in the Discord, you son of a bitch?
I think
I'll
he
share
did.
now. I'll share all the pictures now. But so we get to the theater. He's nervous, but he's excited. As soon as we walk in, people are going crazy. Hey, that's Miles Morales. They're asking to take pictures with him.
It's awesome.
He's so excited. Like
That's dope.
girls are coming up to him asking to take pictures. Like and he's like nervous, but he's
Take
having so much
advantage
fun.
of
He's
that.
like, I'm like,
Yeah.
look here, boy. You might need to wear this costume more often. Just go
What happened to
around
me
here.
when I took there's a very similar experience to when I took Chucky to the theater. My wife thought it was so stupid. She thought it was the stupidest idea. She thought everyone's gonna laugh at us. She was so scared to like go out, to color outside the lines. I was like, you don't understand. The people that are going to see Chucky are gonna love this. This is gonna be great. We own a Chucky doll. A lot of people in the world never actually seen an actual Chucky doll. Like, we own a real Chucky doll, not some, hot topic bullshit Chucky doll. We own a legit Chucky doll.
Actual one.
And people loved it. We took photos and selfies, and yeah, there was a huge thing. Yeah, that's a fun experience.
Yeah.
I can relate.
And people were taking selfies with him and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And
good for
people
him.
saw him in the theater. There were people dressed up like Spider-Man, but all the people that were dressed like Peter Parker Spider-Man, and they weren't as good and cool. So it was
Yeah,
like
that's
people
racist.
like
That's
looking
because
like,
Peter Parker's not as
pretty
cool.
racist.
I mean, Miles is way
no,
cooler. Let's
they
just be real.
didn't
It's
they didn't put
facts.
in the works. Because I was like,
Even
They didn't
if
try
they
as hard.
did put in the work, it wouldn't
Yes.
matter because Peter Parker's just not as cool as Miles.
Wow.
I thought it'd been cool if somebody dressed up like Peter B. Parker
Now
with
that
the
would have
whole
been
like
funny.
sweatpants.
That would've
Nobody
been
did it.
hilarious.
I'm like,
The
damn,
important
I should've
part
did that.
was, were there any Mary Janes?
No, unfortunately, no.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
We don't need Mary Jane.
Yeah, but a lot of like he was getting a lot of attention, like to the point where the people in the theater didn't even ask him to take off his mask. I told him to take off. I said, take off your mask while you're in the theater. Son. I don't want nobody acting weird. They were like, they just let him in. Like, oh, so people thought he like worked there and shit. Like, oh,
Yeah.
he must be like promotional stuff. But we had a great time. He enjoyed the movie. It's an amazing movie, phenomenal. And as we were leaving, people were still asking for pictures and stuff like that and commenting on the suit. And I kept telling them somebody should walk up to him and say, "Hey, Spider-Man, do a flip." But yeah, it was an amazing experience and something he probably won't forget for the rest of his life. He had so much fun.
That's awesome.
He was a celebrity.
We had the theater staff doing selfies with Chucky as well. I appreciate that. Good on you, Delvin Jr. Nice on you being original, not scared of the peer pressure or sticking out. I like that. Big Donnie energy.
And it paid off for him.
There.
Like I said, a lot of the chicks was like, "Hey, this is pretty cool."
Numbers?
Yeah, I Can't See says it's a thing in the horror community to dress up. I don't think it's just the horror community. I mean, I think a lot of franchises do that. It is a horror thing. I think anytime you go, especially like an opening day to like a new big horror movie, like Scream or Jason or something like that, Michael Myers, you'll definitely see some cosplay.
Yeah,
but I saw
thing with Star Wars,
Star
Trek, and
Star
stuff,
Wars is like through the roof with that stuff. Anytime
Oh,
a new
yeah.
Star Wars
Big
movie goes
time.
out, you're gonna see so many Yodas and Jedis and lightsabers. That's a big deal. I didn't see as much of that with like Marvel, but I have seen that with Batman. I've seen a lot of folks dress up as Batman for Batman movies or Batman like
I
characters.
think the only time I've seen that as of late was Black Panther. A lot of people dressed up as Black Panther, and
I mean, we just dressed up
Wakanda.
as royalty. That's what you do. You just dressing up as royalty and going to the theater,
going in style.
Some people dressed up like King Zamunda from Coming to America. Oh, that's a weird thing to wear for Black Panther, but I dig it.
Nice.
Why are you the king of Zamunda?
Why not?
Why not? Yeah.
I guess Akeem would be cool with T'Challa. So yeah.
Damn straight he would.
I'll put all the pictures in Discord so people can see them, by the way.
Yeah, I'm looking at him right now.
Nice.
Dope. Well, Donnie,
Yeah, but it was great.
you're up. What you been up to?
Played a little Zelda, not as much, mainly because I got a game for review that comes out tomorrow, so I can't talk about it now, which means I'll be like late when we talk about it next week.
Redacted.
But I'll say it's not going great, so like don't get excited. That aside, I played some of the Warhammer Space Marine. Definitely digging that. Can't believe I never knew or missed that whenever it came out at the time.
I was shocked when I saw you playing. I was like, "Oh, that's a Donnie game."
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, like I jumped into it and I
was
was like, "Oh shit, this is right up my alley. How have I never played this before?" So I got to get back to it. And then Court Lalonde, friend of the show, got me in on the Division. So I got the Division 2, and because he kept telling me, here's the interesting thing, Dev. We played the Division 2.
Yes, we did.
You and me and Jace and Sean, and I remember. I can't remember how we played it. I must have jumped in on like a free trial or free weekend or something, because I remember playing it with you. And when I open up Ubisoft, I see that I have time on the game, but I don't own the game.
Maybe you had a Ubisoft Plus.
Maybe
That's probably my guess. You may have had it just for a minute there.
So Court loves this game, and he's always trying to get everybody to play it. And I was talking to him, listening to him talk about it. Sean was trying to get me to play it. Court keeps telling me, he's like, "Man, it's got a great campaign. Like, you love it." And I'm like, "I don't know, man. Like, I played it with Dev and Sean, and like that just wasn't the jam. Like, I don't know what you're talking about." But it was on sale and it's super cheap, and I was like, "What the hell?" Like, this was like last week, but at the time, I just wanted to play something that wasn't Zelda for a little bit. Like, I was in a shooter mood. I was waiting on Warhammer to download, so I jumped in, and it does have a legit campaign.
Yeah, it does.
Why didn't we play that?
We did, but
we didn't.
No, we absolutely did. We played the campaign. The problem is when you've got 4 people that are all talking and just doing whatever, it's really
we didn't
hard
play
to
what I'm
follow
playing.
the campaign.
We did not play what I'm playing. I did not see cutscenes. Yeah, it was legit just shooter campaign.
Yeah,
I didn't see cutscenes. I didn't see story. Like I remember what we played.
Yeah, and we jumped in past a lot of the intro cutscenes and stuff into whoever's
we were just playing
game
multiplayer. We were just rolling around this world, just shooting other people.
We were doing the campaign. We played campaign missions.
It's different. It was way different. I remember what we were playing.
It's very different when it's 4 people versus you playing by yourself. This is why I play Destiny by myself.
You play it all by yourself.
Courtney. Oh boy, that's I'm sorry, Court, but
That's
you'll
his new
forever
name.
be known
It's
as
Courtney
Courtney.
Lalonde.
That,
He is
Courtney
that was a
Lalonde.
mistake, but boy, is that gonna stick.
That's
Yes,
a great
sir.
mistake. Courtney!
So- Courtney told me that apparently at some point they revamped the campaign. And maybe that's it.
That is true.
Because like
That
I
is true,
jumped in. Delvin, you ever played it?
Yes, I played it when it came out.
So I jumped in and
And
I'm
I-
legit playing like Call of Duty campaign. Like I got a map, I go to the waypoint, I'm getting a whole setup, like the world's going to hell, it's all apocalyptic, DC's be taken over. Like I am
Yeah.
playing legit campaign like game. I'm like, holy crap, how did I never know? And I feel stupid for having this podcast. I've been podcasting for years. I can only imagine the people who played this be like, no shit, Donnie. Like I'm just figuring this out. And
That's
it's
how
really
the game
good.
starts. We just didn't play it from the beginning.
It's really good. So I'm going to keep playing it. I'm waiting for my ally to come because I think the division might be a really good spot. Now, you know, Courtney's like, do the campaign and then we'll run season 18 together or whatever. No, I'm not doing
No,
that.
we won't.
That's the part where I'll get off
Did
the
they just
ride.
not? Did they just not listen to our show and realize that we are not those people? Like, I don't understand
Apparently,
why people keep trying to get us to play multiplayer shit. That is not who we are.
It's not what we do.
Yeah. One of the funniest interactions I had recently, and you saw it on Discord, them asking me to play VR games in multiplayer. I'm like, absolutely not. That is not going to happen, player. I hate to break it to you. That is not going to be a thing.
I wanted to go back to the division just because it is cheap and I'm kind of interested in like Heartland. It kind of has, I'm hoping like it's free to play. So it's like multiplayer only, but I was thinking it was more of like a, maybe, and I don't know, who knows? I may just be wrong on this, but when I was following the lead in, I was thinking it was more of like a player base that's like kind of recapturing and like kind of holding territory and stuff. And I was like, that might be kind of fun to just kind of get in on, you know, from the ground floor. So I was kind of interested in Heartland. I wanted to go back to the division anyway. And yeah, I'm digging it. I'm enjoying it. So I think I'll keep playing
Which
it.
is fun.
Yeah.
One
it's a
and two are pretty
little
good
campaign.
games. Especially,
I played it like this
The
one
campaign's really
experience has
good.
made me think very differently on the game. If you had asked me last Monday what I thought of the division, I wouldn't have said a whole lot of glowing things. And then I played it for 4 hours on Friday, and then it's like, oh, it's actually pretty good. I
Yep.
would have bought that game just for that campaign if it was like that when it came out.
and I don't think the campaign's long either.
It's
Yeah,
not.
I
think it's
can't
super long either.
imagine it being. Yeah,
But yeah, the beginning of the game, I don't think they changed that. Like what you're mentioning is like what I remember jumping into in the beginning, like
Interesting.
the very beginning. But
because
the
that's what
problem
I
is,
don't remember. I don't remember that at
we
all.
didn't do that because you can't
Okay.
do that campaign. Like you jump into somebody
makes sense
else's
then.
game.
Yeah, because
So-
what I remember, I'm like, we didn't play this level. I didn't know who
Yeah.
these people are.
Yeah.
We didn't do any of this.
If you
Playing
jump
the
into somebody else's
game-
game, you miss that stuff.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see
playing
that.
the
I
game,
didn't
like
know.
4 players can be completely chaotic too.
Yeah,
Like,
we were just running
unless-
around shooting. Like I was getting very
Yeah.
Destiny-ish vibes because I'm like, we're just running around shooting stuff in this world. Like, there's nothing really going on.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. I just missed it all.
Destiny's
That's why you need a
the same way.
Sherpa.
There's a lot going on in Destiny. Same shit. There's cutscenes, all of that.
Let's dig it.
Just it's good stuff.
That's it.
Well, let's get into all this fucking news then, Donnie.
We got a lot.
Hey, Don, is that the way you move on the internet? Now read that news. Oldie but goodie.
So, after last week's show, Meta, company previously known as Facebook, announced the Quest 3 is coming, and it's coming out this fall. The Quest 3 features higher resolution, stronger performance, breakthrough reality technology, and a slimmer, more comfortable headset. They also have new controllers, wands, whatever you call them. They've also lowered the price of the Quest 2 back to its original price. So they knocked $50 off of both of them. Quest 3 is 40% slimmer. Quest 2 and Pro will see an uptick of 26% boost in performance. They've got some update that apparently optimizes things. It's crazy that they're rolling this out like years after this Quest has been released. They just found a quarter of performance. They're like, here you go. It's just better now. That's interesting. I think they've got like dynamic resolution scaling or something they're doing. So who knows? And they announced a bunch of games, like a ton. I'm not going to read all of these, but they announced Samba de Amigo, I Expect You to Die 3, Ghostbusters, a new NFL game, the Masquerade VR game, Arizona Sunshine 2, Stranger Things VR, Attack on Titan VR. Delvin, I know you're pumped for that. You get to see all of that Attack on Titan dong in first person.
All
Dong
over the
slapping
screen.
you all
Just
right
right
at
in your face. Just the big things that I think really made headlines was Asgard's Wrath 2, Assassin's Creed VR, and Bulletstorm coming to VR. And a low-key Power Wash Simulator coming to VR. Probably a great fit, actually. That's probably the best way to play Power Wash Simulator. So, Quest getting a lot of stuff.
No,
I know Dev
I will
doesn't
say
care.
this. I will say this. The fact that they're having a Quest 3 and it's still lower than the PSVR 2
Yeah.
says a lot. That is,
Yep.
I really think PlayStation dropped the ball. like big
I mean,
time.
it's lower and then some, because you could just buy the Quest 3 and you don't need the PSVR 2 or the PS5.
Yeah.
So
And
it's
that was my point when I say
significantly
that, like
lower.
significantly lower. And you're pretty much going to get the same games.
But you don't buy a PSVR 2.
Here's that
put that on
PlayStation take.
Like the whole thing. You're getting it.
You could have
because
stopped
it's
there.
PlayStation.
You could have stopped when you said you don't buy
Yeah, you don't buy a
PSVR 2.
PSVR 2. I
Stop.
agree. I want no parts of this shit.
Stop the sentence.
But it's a different audience. They're going after the PlayStation audience. Here's all these VR things that you'll get everywhere else, plus the sprinkling of PlayStation crap. Not
Yeah.
worth it, in my opinion. I could care less about all this VR shit. It can
You're correct.
all go away.
Well,
I like VR, but
I'd like to say if you're somebody that owned a PSVR 2, like Delvin, you should be rooting for Quest, because a lot of these games were announced coming to PSVR 2, and a lot of these other games that weren't, I imagine, will at some point after a period of exclusivity or timing. Like Facebook is leading the way when it comes to software creation. And if you've put all that money down on PSVR 2, you need Quest to be as successful as popular just for the ports
Correct.
alone. Like just to get
Correct.
software and games. Because Sony didn't show a whole lot at their showcase for their headset. So, like Meta definitely showed
Frankly
way
speaking-
more. Like Meta came out like, here's 40 VR games. You know, Sony came out and they're like,
frankly
here's
speaking-
3 VR games.
I think it's going to be a Vita situation.
It's
Where
so
PlayStation just going to stop supporting
sad.
it, but everybody else is still going to support it. So it's going to seem like, oh, we're still getting a lot of games for it. But
Is
Still
that a
some
Vita situation or just a PSVR situation? I feel like it's the same thing.
I mean, Vita had who had which console had the best support? That's actually a good question. Who did it better, PSVR or Vita?
I'd probably say Vita,
It's the same picture. It's the same
because
picture.
Vita
It's the same
did get
picture.
Uncharted and Killzone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, dear.
VR.
Yeah. So anyway, moving on. Ubisoft has teased a mystery game at the Ubisoft Forward, which is next week, June 12th. They are promoting Avatar, Assassin's Creed Mirage, and The Crew. And now would be a good time to let all of our listeners know that you can catch PSVG streaming several showcases over the coming days, starting tomorrow. Tomorrow evening at 6 p.m., myself and Sean Capri will be talking over the Devolver Digital Showcase as a part of Summer Games Fest. Then this Sunday, you can catch me and Delvin hanging out watching the Xbox show, or hopefully we see Persona and Fable for the first time. And then next week, Monday, your boy Dev and Donnie will be watching the Ubisoft Forward, where we'll be streaming all the things, and you should sign up because you might get a lot of drops. Because you have content for skins and cosmetics and avatars and all kinds of things, as we are officially a Ubisoft partner. So we've been tied into the Ubisoft program, and hopefully you can come by, hang out with us as we make fun of Avatar.
Oh, yes.
And if they show Skull and Bones, we'll make fun of that too. Just because we're a Ubisoft partner doesn't mean we're going to go any easier on Skull and Bones. And pick up your skins and cosmetics and stuff. Come hang out with us. I'm sure other folks from PSVG might want to join us. I didn't ask, just because they know like it's an open invite. I don't know how everybody's schedules and whatnot are doing, but if folks are available and free to jump in and hang out with us, they'll have an invite, a link that they can join, and come watch video game shows with us. 'Tis the season. It's announcement season.
I'm so pissed at Devolver for having the show in the middle of the day.
It doesn't feel right.
Thursday.
Like I'm sure they secured the bag from Jeff or whatever, but I don't like it either, because we have been streaming Devolver for years together at this point, Dev and I.
On a Saturday. It's been great.
And it is a bummer. Like, I'm glad I can get to do it with Sean. And to be honest with you, if Sean didn't do it, I probably wasn't going to do it, because it doesn't feel right to do it without you or Sean.
Yeah.
But we will be there tomorrow. I'm not going to film Summer Games Fest. I don't give a shit about that. I'll just watch Twitter tell me what's going on at the Summer Games Fest. But once Devolver takes the show, then now all of a sudden I care. And I want to see what they're going to do.
I will be in a meeting with our police. So
should have pulled the fire alarm.
Be able to watch it. It's fucking bullshit.
It's a bummer.
Sounds fun.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited to see Mirage. I'm excited for the Xbox show. It's wrapping. It looks like it's going to be a good one, hopefully. Doesn't mean the games will be good. I'm not going to stop saying that. But it looks like the showcase will be good. And
doesn't even mean the games are coming anytime soon.
That's true. We'll see. Speaking of showcases, the Guerrilla Collective had a showcase today, which I watched and spammed our Discord full of trailers and stuff that they showed. Because, gentlemen, this was a hell of a show. Did either of you get a chance to watch it or see any of the games that I posted?
The only one that I saw is the one that you said that I might be interested in, and that's the little samurai fox thing, whatever the hell that was.
What was that called? I didn't think I wrote it down. It was Heart something. Yeah, I think you would like it. It was very like it
was like
Katana Zero.
Katana Zero, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I tagged you on it. This is a thing that I love doing. I watch these indie shows, and then we always talk about Donna game, Delvin game, Garrett game, Rebecca game, and then I find a trailer and I throw it in there and ping, you're it. Take a look at this. Let me know what you think.
I don't even know who the hell the Guerrilla Collective is.
Like an indie publisher. Okay. So I didn't write down every game. I only wrote down the games that I thought were interested in me, which is like half the games, because this showcase was 2 hours. It was like a 2-hour direct full of trailers. Just crap. There's so many card games, so many video games with card systems. There'll be none of that in what I'm about to read. So if you're into card games, you need to go back and watch those trailers on your own, because I didn't write any of those down. But let's see how fast I can get through at least some of these. Up first was Europa. I called it Studio Ghibli of the Wild. It's exactly what that game looks like, and it looks awesome. Definitely hashtag Kyle game, and I threw that on my wish list. Evolutus is a very strange game.
Okay.
Style, cyberpunk. Neon, dripping cyberpunk, like the cyberpunk Netflix show, like the animation. What was that called?
Edge
Runners.
God, it was so good.
Is like that in style, except it's like a 2D side-scrolling adventure game, but it also has like UFC fighting missions or levels where you're dropped in like a cage and you fight people. Like, it changes genres quite a bit. But if you're really into that cyberpunk aesthetic, you should give it a try. It's called Evolutus. The next one is Abyssius, which is a sci-fi Doom clone, which is what the chat and what the trailer was saying. Although I think it looks way more like Turok, like just in gameplay. Okay. Iron Meat is a run and gun arcade shooter. Yeah, Iron Meat. It's set in an apocalyptic future that has been overrun by the meat, which is an iron ravenous mass. So this thing eats all the iron.
Everything. Yeah.
There's a demo out now. You can play Iron Meat today on Steam. Annalyn is a 2D platformer made in like the style of arcade games from like the 80s, which is pretty cool. Hang on a second about that one. Let me make sure I have the right one down.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I want to just remind myself before I start talking. Annalyn I bought. So it's out today on Switch. It's $5. I had $2 in gold coins, so I bought it. The reason I bought it, it's like Mad Pac-Man Donkey Kong vibes. So if you're like into that, maybe even like a little bust move, like that kind of thing. So I was definitely digging it.
Oh, yes. Nah.
Yeah. Super Space Club is a really cool one. It's a lo-fi arcade space shooter. It had great like music in the trailer. I don't know if that music is going to be in the game, but if it is, that's kind of a must buy. I threw it on my wish list. Delvin, what's so funny?
John
See what John
32
32 said.
That got me.
That's good. Iron Meat's better than Gold Coin. I have a better name.
Absolutely.
Anton Blast is just a retro, wacky WarioWare type of game that had a really fun trailer, especially if you're into like that early's kind of grimy, grungy 90s aesthetic. They had like a guy, he was just doing the kind of like the Sega, like kind of like that kind of riff vibe in the trailer, which is pretty cool. Delvin, write the next two down. Serum and World of Horror. These are two horror games that were included in the showcase. Serum is a horror immersive sim that has a crafting and like survival element. It looks really good, just visually very nice, very polished. Probably not the type of game that either of you are into, but
Okay.
that alone, I'll probably just try it just for the visuals, just to check it out. The other one though, World of Horror, this one's been showcased a bunch lately. It's in early access now if you wanted to play it now. It officially releases October 19th. This would be a great pick for anybody that wants a horror game. This is an old school horror game. Like adventures, note collecting, puzzling, has a great style, and a lot of people are very excited for that one. Yeah, it looks really cool.
Have like
Demon
a black
School,
and wild white style.
Namada, let's see, I'm just going to read off a couple of these. Dark Deity 2 is like an old school Fire Emblem game. We got a gameplay trailer for WrestleQuest, which is cool. Crash Lands 2 was a funny trailer because the character just started walking around slapping everybody. The Kingdom series, right? We've got like 2 Crowns and whatever. They're making like a Stranger Things based version of Kingdoms. So if you haven't tried Kingdoms and you wanted to try it, you have like an 80s aesthetic you could try now. Ollie Frog is a Tony Hawk N64 game. It is a cartoony Tony Hawk game that's coming out. It's called Ollie Frog Toad Skater, which gets me down to Bye Sweet Carol. Didn't show any gameplay, but they did show a cinematic, and it looks like Beauty and the Beast, like the Disney movie, like an animation quality. It looks actually kind of incredible, and it's supposed to be like some kind of horror game. It's like some kind of horror adventure game. But if that's, we'll see what the gameplay looks like. But if you're into that Disney aesthetic, you might enjoy that. Avoid Hope is a puzzle platformer with a rewind mechanic. It looks like Earthbound. It looks like it probably plays something like Oxenfree. So that was one I definitely wishlisted. 3 Minutes to 8 is a cyberpunk adventure game. Crypt Custodian is a cat game. It's a Metroidvania action game about cleaning up the afterlife. You play as Pluto, a mischievous cat who has died and is sentenced to be the afterworld's janitor. It's very Death's Door-ish, maybe even Hyper Light Drifter, kind of like that kind of aesthetic. They showed Gory Cuddly Carnage. I talked about that game last year when I played the demo for Steam Next Fest.
Yeah, that game isn't out yet?
It's not out yet. It's probably one of the highlights for me this year. It's like game I'm most excited to play. I wrote this one down just for you, Delvin. Have you played Dawn of Monsters?
I have not.
You should look that up. It's like very Transformer-y. They just announced a bunch of DLC. Give that trailer a look. And I read all of that off really quickly to read this one. I almost leaped out of my chair when they showed a trailer for a game called Questmaster. Because I immediately thought of Rebecca, because Questmaster is the Zelda dungeon maker she's been asking for years. Like, it's exactly that. It is just that. It's all of that. Like, they did what Nintendo couldn't, apparently. They have made a Zelda Dungeon Master. I would tell you that it's Link to the Past, but I was corrected by Rebecca when she looked at it. It is spot on Minish Cap style. Like it is the Minish Cap. They have their own character, but yeah, it's a dungeon maker. You can play co-op, you can play with friends, you can share levels, you can do all that stuff. So if you've been listening to Shaq for years and you're on this train that Rebecca's been driving, you have a game to wish list. Again, it's called, I lost my place. What is it called?
Quest Master.
Quest Master. I was going to say Master Quest. Yeah, Quest Master. Great show. Those are just the games that I thought were like notable to me. There were a ton of games that were not notable to me, probably notable to Ryan and Garrett that I didn't even mention. Tons of card games, tons of RPGs, and this was a really good show.
That's a lot of games not to be all.
It was a lot of games. There was a lot of stuff, man. It was a Nintendo Direct pace, but 2 hours long. I mean, it was just game after game after game after game. It was really good. Really, really good. The hosts were really cool. They didn't try to oversell it or anything. They were actually kind of low key, like chill. Apparently Kind of Funny hosted them. They just let them use their set. So they were just on the set. Cool. Kind of Funny while they were doing it. Yep. I imagine we'll see a lot of these indie games in other shows moving forward. You know, like the indie games, you'll see them pop up at different shows because I imagine a lot of people don't know what Guerrilla Collective is, didn't watch the Guerrilla Collective. So don't be surprised if we see these at a Direct, at an Indies presentation, in the Xbox show, at Summer Games Fest. I think we'll see other stuff like that. So, yeah, as Rebecca's in the chat, be excited because there's a lot to like. I'm definitely playing those horror games. I'm getting Super Space Club. I'm going to play Abyssius. I'm going to play Europa. Like, I probably pulled 10 games out of the showcase that I'm actually going to buy. We talked about it last week, you know, and I think the week before. When it comes to these showcases, I only judge the show based on how many games I'm going to buy, and this was a great show in that regard. I plan on buying a bunch of these games, not a handful, a bunch. So, nice. WrestleQuest looked great. The College Football Players Association is apparently organizing a boycott to boycott EA's upcoming NCAA football game.
So ridiculous.
We ain't getting this game.
I think we are, but here's the reasoning. This comes from On3, who spoke to the College Football Players Association vice president, former center from Clemson. And he says that the deal is just too low. So apparently the NCAA and EA worked out a deal where EA has promised they've set aside $5 million for the players' likenesses. That'll be split amongst all the players. That roughly pulls out to about $500 per player. That doesn't stop them from paying players more. So like if you're the cover athlete, you're going to get paid a lot more. If you're like probably a star player or highlight player, you're probably going to get paid a lot more. But this is just kind of the blanket agreement, the base agreement. Everybody's going to get $500. This isn't a marketing agreement, right? So they can sign players for more money if they want to tweet about the game or stream the game or promote the game in any way. This is literally just for being included, just for them like putting your name on the roster. Everybody's getting $500. This player and the Players Association are assuming they're suggesting that this offer is just way too low. It's embarrassing low, I believe was the quote, and that they want them to be they want to raise this deal to much more money. And the reason that they want to boycott the game, they're citing what Madden pays the NFL players for being in Madden, which roughly comes out to about $20,000 annually for every player in the NFL. What do you guys think?
They're not NFL players.
They're not.
That's the first one.
Ton of money in NCAA. The amount of money in college sports is stupid.
So here, I got a few things on this. There's a lot more players in college football than the NFL. A shit ton more. I was going to say that too. Monumentous amounts more, like incredibly more. You can't look at it and be like, I want every college football athlete to get paid $20,000. What?
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's not realistic.
That's not realistic. Yeah. Even if you wanted to get paid more, as you said, they're not NFL players. Now, Dev, you said college football is very popular. We don't know that because they haven't released a game in 10 years.
Oh, I just meant the sport. I didn't mean anything.
No, and I'm with you. But there's nothing as popular in America anyways, and I would say globally, as the NFL. The NFL is the shield. I mean, it drives all the TV ratings. It is the big kahuna. No college football program or conference is that big.
Even coming close.
They're really not close. Yeah.
Interesting.
You think about
Then
like
you have
what
to add
what
the
the
fact
NFL
that-
pulls in TV rights versus what the Big Ten and the SEC pull in TV rights are
I
vastly different.
don't know those numbers. I don't pay
Yeah,
attention.
they're
to
vastly
that.
different. We're talking hundreds of millions.
I
of
just go
difference.
based on how much people will be caring about college sports compared to the NFL.
So
feel
I
like
don't
there's
think this
just
is going to
way
matter
more.
because this is the weakness when you deal with a players association. This is collective bargaining across any union. There are star players that will want to be paid more. I think
Yes.
they're going to be outweighed by the base player that just wants to be in the game. And I'm interested to see how this is like the first opportunity for the Players Association to kind of rally together in a new like NIL world. And I kind of expect it to crash and burn. Like I'm very interested. I'm fascinated to see if they can actually pull the will of 1,000 people across 100 different programs to all pull in the same direction. I don't think they can. I think what will happen is I think you'll see 80% of the people opt in. I think you'll see 5% of the people, like we'll call them the stars, opt out for better deals. I think they'll get it. And the people in between those two just won't be in the game.
Yeah.
And then they'll probably opt in. I think it's
players-
crazy.
Y'all, I ain't paying y'all shit. I'm not putting you in the game.
Yeah.
Fuck y'all.
Honestly, I
Just
think
let-
that's what's
let
going to
the
happen.
people
I
make
think
the
EA is
roster.
just be like, okay, like we're going to give whoever wins the Heisman, we're going to give the Heisman favorites deals. We're going to give them
I
better
wouldn't
money.
even do that.
No,
I
they're
wouldn't
going to.
even do
They're
that.
going to do that.
I'd
Yeah.
be like,
They're-
look, we're just gonna put a
Yeah.
bunch of people out there. It's gonna be the games. It's gonna have the teams, and then somebody can make the rosters the same way you used to do back in the day.
So the thing that really is bizarre to me about this, or not bizarre, bizarre's not the right word, but the thing that sticks out to me about this is I think this is overplaying your hand. I think this is a bad move to do this before the first game comes out. I think you sign on to whatever the first game is, you wait to see what it sells, and then you come back to the table and go, hey, you sold a lot of these games. We want to up our rate. Then you have more standing. There's no standing here. There's no ground. The game's not even out. It could be a huge commercial flop for all anybody knows.
I see the opposite. I'm like, fuck it. Let's just go hard. Who cares? Because we're not losing anything either way. Let's just go hard right away. Let's go hard at these people. Fuck them.
No, I do think they could probably raise I would say, I mean, I don't disagree with the players. 500 for every player is probably low. I think you could probably get 1,000. I think you could
Yeah,
probably
probably.
double
I
it
would
for
think
everybody. Yeah, I don't think that's too much. You make it go from 5 million to 10 million, it's probably doable. But I don't know. I don't like it. I don't think this will jeopardize the game. Honestly, if they actually did boycott, I think we just return to no-named rosters.
Yeah, which is what
Halfback
we should
number
do in the
24.
first place.
Yeah.
That's what they should be doing in the first place. Just do that, and somebody will go in and we'll make the rosters just like before.
Here's the thing, though. I think I would like to speak for what I would think is like the hardcore NCAA football fan. We don't care about the names because when we're on season 16 of our coach dynasty on our third
Exactly.
team, none of those players are going to be there anyway.
1,000%.
You know, like that doesn't really matter. I think the only thing that matters to the likeness is really the cover athlete.
They're
Like,
doing
that's
this.
it.
Well,
They're not making this game for you, Donnie. They're not making college football for you. They're making college football for the people who play Madden Ultimate Team, and
Yeah.
they will now have college players to do it.
Yeah,
That's who
that's
this
true.
game is for.
And in
if
that
I remember
regard, with like
correctly,
legends and stuff, there could be a lot of money to throw around.
if I remember correctly, the original lawsuit the O'Bannons had, because that's where this all came from, wasn't the fact that the players were named after them, but it was the likeness issue. Like the players,
Yeah.
they were nameless players.
Yeah.
But their stats were similar to what the O'Bannon
You would
brothers
know
and other
who
college
halfback
athletes
12
were.
was because it
Exactly.
yeah.
So they would have to make it
randomize
so,
rosters.
so
They'd have to randomize the
yeah,
rosters.
completely randomize it. Or that could be another argument that could come up, like, hey, this
They're going
is-
to pay them. EA wants the players. You know why? Because what Devin says, they want NCAA Ultimate Team. That's so much money to have Bo Jackson and Archie Griffin and shit coming back to like huge amounts of money to have OJ Simpson. Like they want the players. They're going to give them more money. I think this gets worked out ultimately. They got time before the game comes out. I think they work this out. They figure out a middle ground where everybody can be happy. But I do think if it were me, I would call their bluff. I'd make the deals with the star players. There's not many, 20. I'd give all of them more deals. I was thinking in my head, maybe there's room to like work in some stuff here. Like if you sign into the game to be in the game, you get $500. If you agree to tweet about the game, we'll up that to $750. If you stream the game, we'll up it to $1,000. Like, is there things like that to go in? I was reading an interview. There was a NIL collective like meeting last week where there was like a bunch of players from across the country together, like a symposium. And they were saying that they think the better players, like the starters, the players that are playing, should get paid more than like the freshmen that just joined the team. I think that's really tough to do because it puts a lot of pressure on the programs and it's just really hard to like pull off. But I think the logic is sound. So I would include, if I were EA, I would include bonuses to like all Americans. Like you make the all conference team, you make the all American team, we'll throw in another 500. Then you're getting really good players, starting caliber players to opt into the game probably. Because a lot of those, like if you do it to all conference, a lot of those players we know who they're going to be. They're the juniors and seniors that have been there that are starting. They're going to make all conference, all American. And if you just throw in like that little caveat, like, all right, everybody gets 500, but if you make all conference, you get another 500. That probably covers, that's like 90% of the
college portion of this and just turn college football into its own league. You know, you don't have to actually go to class. It's just amateur football. Like
I think that's going to happen.
Let's just do that.
I just think we're really far away from it, but that's not a crazy idea. I'm not sure if you know about that. There has been a lot of people speculating that that's exactly what the SEC and Big Ten trying to do. And that's why UCLA and USC and Texas and Oklahoma are jumping, because they're trying to make like a premier college league. And then if they can get the brands together, like the Blue Bloods, they'll separate from the NCAA. They'll private. And that's what they'll do. They'll pay the players as employees, they'll pay them salaries, and they'll just separate.
That's what it is. That's what it should be. Just
you don't have to go to college. You don't have to go to class. Yeah. It's like just get rid of all of that, and everybody just makes a salary.
Like the G League. It's like the NBA G League. You go here, you play football. You don't have to worry about anything else. Just play football because that's clearly your chosen career path.
Yep.
And then when you're done, you either make it to the league or you're out.
There are players on those teams that do want to go to school, and it's an option. If you want to go to school, you can. Right. It's not stopping anybody from going to school, but that's been a thing for a couple of years now. That's taken once the Big Ten and the SEC
is football.
Once the Big Ten and the SEC started grabbing better programs, they're like, the speculation is they're like 8 programs away from being able to make that a reality. Like you can't do it right now because they still don't have like Clemson, Florida State, Miami, and like maybe Oregon. But like outside of those schools, like everybody else is in one of those 2 conferences.
Yeah.
Like most everybody else that like would drive ratings that could make a private league. You can't make a private league with Iowa State. I'm sorry. Like it just, it's a good program. It's just not feasible.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a sports talk. We'll head into some headlines. I forgot about this report until I read the news, but last week Bloomberg reported that nobody at Arcane wanted to make Redfall. And the gist of the article was that they had a ton of turnover during this game cycle, that everybody that was there that made Dishonored has basically left, or most of them, and that they had a hard time hiring because the people that were interested in applying to work at Arcane wanted to work at Arcane to work on Arcane games. And when they got there, or when they were interviewing, and Arcane was like, we're making them a shooter, a multiplayer co-op shooter, people either didn't take the deal or like didn't want to work on the game, was essentially the gist of the article.
That's
so
a wild thing to say like that.
It's another Anthem.
Yeah, this is their Anthem moment.
They're like, we didn't want to work on this shit. Like straight up, like, I don't think I've ever heard.
There was a quote in that article from somebody anonymously that spoke to Jason Schreier saying that they wished Microsoft would have canceled the game.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember seeing that somewhere.
That the people at Arcane wanted Microsoft to cancel it, but Microsoft was taking a hands-off approach to Arcane and left them alone to do their own thing.
That's wild.
I'll tell you, it's a terrible example of mismanagement all around.
Yeah.
Yes.
At the studio level, at the publisher level, like everywhere. I mean, if I were Microsoft and that report came out, I'd be like, all right, we've got to put some things in place to stop this from occurring again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd be like, you need to be supervised. Like no.
Or not even not supervised, but like maybe set up some routine checks with both the leadership of the studio as well as maybe some worker bees to just get like a vibe on what everybody's thinking anonymously.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
it
Vibe
should
check.
not get out that we didn't even want to make the game. That's a wild statement to say.
and I'm
To put out
wondering,
there.
what do you think is worse? Microsoft buys Bethesda, cancels Redfall. Or what happened? Microsoft buys Bethesda, releases Redfall, Redfall's on fire.
What happens? What happened? And I will say why.
I think
Because the fact that they're saying they didn't want to work on it and the game sucks.
But here's the thing.
Like,
we
that's
don't
worse.
know that Microsoft knows that they wanted Microsoft to cancel it. It seems like that was
understand
never
that.
like formally asked for. It seems like that was just kind of an internal thought from a handful of possibly former employees, could be current employees. We don't even know if that's really the thought of the whole studio, right? Like that's really speculation that Jason got. We don't know how relative that is.
Even so, that's a bad message to put out there. Like, hey, we didn't even want to work on the game, and now people that paid money for it, like, we didn't want to do it. And then you say we don't want to do it. It's like, God damn, I just paid like $60 for it. If you paid that, like, Game Pass is Game Pass. But, you know, people pay money for games that they expect to be good. And all the marketing that went behind it, then you come out around and
70,
say, not
by
the
the way.
studio. That makes it even worse. Now, not the studio
All that
necessarily saying,
marketing.
but
I
then
mean,
you
hey,
feel
on the
cool.
marketing side, Xbox nailed it. Right? Damn controller is fire.
That controller is good.
The
But could you
best thing
imagine,
about
like,
this damn game was the controller. Yeah, bad times for
I think
Redfall.
it would have been better if they would have canceled it. If-
So
Yeah, I agree.
because that way, at least now it seems like you're paying attention to the studio. Why have them make a game that they don't want to make and it come out and just be awful versus allowing the studio to make games they want to make and having a better quality thing? I think Microsoft is just stuck because the whole thing about them is where are the games. So I don't think
I'm going to
they
be
could
devil's
have.
advocate. I don't necessarily think I know or have a belief in either one being better than the other, but I just want to play devil's advocate just because we're in podcasts when we do. Xbox buys Bethesda and everybody freaks out wondering how involved Xbox is going to be with Bethesda. And there was a huge reaction when that news dropped to leave Bethesda alone. They didn't even want Bethesda to fall under Xbox publishing. Like when I say they, I'm talking about the mob, like the social media mob that is the gaming community, right? Do you remember can we all agree that that was like kind of the commentary, right?
Yeah.
So Xbox buys Bethesda. Everybody hates it, doesn't want Xbox to change a whole lot. And the first thing that happens is they cancel a game, just like they canceled Scalebound, just like they've canceled so many other games. I think if we remove ourselves from what Redfall ended up being, if we put ourselves back in 2019 and in that reality, I think that's a nightmare. Just like Games with Gold was a nightmare. I think they get a huge backlash from that. Possibly worse than Redfall just not being good.
I'll push back a little bit. And what I will say is this, because people still ask for Scalebound. People still want
but that's
Scalebound.
like a new thing. I think that's just like nostalgia.
That's been a thing.
It hasn't
been a thing
always been a thing.
But it's better to want something with the hopes that, hey, that might be good, than have it and know it's crap and be like, oh, why did you put this out?
Yeah, well, there's probably
Or
a reason
just
that
be
Scalebound was
transparent.
canceled. Scalebound was also probably crap. That's the thing
Just
that
be
Well, I agree.
transparent and say that there's a lot of turnover at the studio. The people who originally started on it aren't here anymore, and therefore we canceled the game because it did not have the backing of the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I do think it's worth pointing out, based on this Bloomberg article, that the blame really should be shifted at Bethesda.
Oh yeah,
Like
100%.
upper executive Bethesda on 2 accounts. The first account being that I mean, I want to say Pete Hines just because he's like their communications overlord, right? I'm not saying him. I'm just saying that group, whoever is dictating the direction for all the Bethesda studios, that group that Pete Hines is the spokesperson for. They wanted Arcane to make a service-based game, which is not what Arcane does at all. So that is the first strike. Strike 1 is just them making them do that. Strike 2 was seeing the condition it was in and letting it release. Neither of which is like, quote unquote, if we're like actually being specific, Xbox's fault. Right?
Correct.
Yeah.
I wasn't playing Xbox for this at all.
But nobody cares about that. It's Xbox's company and they released it and it's on
Yes.
Game Pass and it's just yeah, right. Okay. That's enough to, beating Redfall to a pulp. Which
Yeah, it's
still
already
no
taking
updates,
its
no
toll.
acknowledgement from Arcane about the game at all.
There's not going to be any. That's it. This game is done. It's not getting anything extra. It's over.
Apple has released a new headset. They came out with a presentation yesterday. It's called the Apple Vision Pro. It is an AR
Get that
headset,
out of here!
augmented reality. Features a 3D camera. They've got 3D apps. They've got new controllers. It does have a gaming aspect. Apple talked about a whole new gaming approach to the Mac system. Hideo Kojima showed up. He's bringing Death Stranding to Mac. What they showed in the presentation did not look great. It was Death Stranding, but it definitely looked like it was running pretty roughly.
Yeah, who cares?
This headset's $3,500. There's a lot of people that are talking about this headset, and they're almost exclusively talking about how much it costs. Do you guys have any thoughts on this thing, or do you want to move on?
It's an Apple device that costs $3,500. There's no surprises there whatsoever. I have zero interest in anything AR, VR.
The people that are dunking on the
definitely
price
ain't
are
getting me into
dismissing.
$3,500.
It's not for consumers yet. This is not a consumer product. It's just not. It's brand new technology that we've really never seen before, in like any sort of mass production. The vision that they showcased, I obviously have never tried it. Who knows? But the vision that they showcased, I think, was pretty incredible, lofty. And if they get there, I think it could change society. Like this is a societal type of shift product.
This is the world I don't want to live in. I don't want to live in Ready Player One. Okay, I don't want that.
Well, when I keep seeing the things that are happening in real world, the more and more I'm starting to warm up to the idea of just putting on my headset.
The problem is you still have to take the headset off. Doesn't make it any better.
But no, I'm with you. It's crazy to think that, I mean, honestly, when I was watching the presentation, I was like, oh my God, in 20 years, we're all just going to be sitting around with headsets on. Like, it's hard not to think that when you see the type of stuff that they're like. I could see this being very, I don't know, transformational maybe is putting it over too hard, but I could see it changing the daily operations of schools, of hospitals, of medical facilities, of work. Talk about telework, where everybody could put on a headset and like be in a room together and share together and showcase like where technology is going with AI and stuff. Something like this seems very powerful in a way that VR headsets as we know them now are not even in the same
close to it.
Yeah, they're not even like, these are very different products. They're very different approaches. This could be like the iPod of the future. Who knows?
You know, I will say this. We can kind of only blame ourselves for this because this is the future a lot of people ask for. Like when you watch movies like Total Recall and Back
Iron
to the
Man.
Future 2.
How are you not
Man.
seeing that
These are the
shit
things-
and them grabbing all these apps and moving around the room and shit and not think Iron Man?
Yeah,
I
these are the
think,
things that people were like, hey, we
Minority
want
Report.
that.
Yeah.
I want Minority Report.
Blade Runner.
I don't want this shit.
I was even
You don't
thinking
want
at a
Minority
low
Report.
level. I'm thinking even at like a low level. Like, why would you lug around a TV if they pull this off? Like, why would you move? Like, why would you have a TV? You just have a headset. And you could just, you could have a whole movie theater at home. Why would you go to the movies anymore? If you could just put a headset on and
Yeah,
literally
actually go
have
to
a
the movies.
screen that gives you the same look and feel of being in a movie theater.
I don't want to be
Price.
in a.
Well, that's
I don't
the
want that.
price.
Yeah.
That's looking at
It's
like
not
the
the
here and the
price.
now. That is not
I
a
don't want
thing.
to put on
Well,
a headset. I don't
I'm
want to
thinking
be
about
taken
this
out that way.
5 years from now when they come out with the consumer model that is affordable and all that. Like, I'm not thinking about this right now. This is introductory.
But even so, it's still gonna be a price issue until they get it to the point where it's like the iPad is affordable to everybody and it's accessible to everybody,
Of course.
and the cell phones for that matter. And I think that's the thing. So
This is no different than the computer used to be super expensive and only corporations could afford. And then it wasn't.
yeah, I think it's a cool device. I think it's innovative. I think that people have been complaining for years about Apple not innovating on anything, and this is their way of doing that. So
The people
We'll
that
see.
went hands on to talk about it are coming away very positive. Like, they're glowing about it. Like, there are nitpicks. You can talk about the price, talk about the battery pack and all that. But like, I'm just the experience that they are sharing. They're like, holy shit, guys, it works. Like, it looks great. Like, that's the part that I keep latching onto. I'm like, oh, because I mean, obviously I haven't done it. We haven't done it. Who knows? But if I'm believing these people, their testimonials, and there's multiple of them, it seems like this wasn't like a Connect thing. This isn't like this thing we saw and then when we got it, it quite wasn't that. The people that went hands on with it are like, oh, it is that. Like, what they should, that's what it is. Like, it works. It just works out of the box. It looks good. You know, like, there's no kind of like other shoe dropping. There's no, I was expecting people to get into it and be like, you know, like I saw the presentation, but you know, like FaceTime really wasn't working and the video was kind of fuzzy. That's not what I'm hearing from people that have hands-on impressions at all. They're like, oh no, it looks great and it works. That's the part that
Well, let me
I'm
ask
like,
this
oh, I
question.
think this is real then.
And I think this is an important question to ask. How soon do we see a competitor to this? Because I would think if Apple's putting this out, there's probably a company like Google making something similar, maybe for a cheaper price.
Who knows?
Not by much.
I don't know.
But I would assume this is not only an Apple thought, because people have been trying
Hardware
this for a
isn't
while.
really Google's thing. They have hardware, but not at the level. Apple is a whole different thing than Google.
Yeah, Google Glass was a thing at one point.
Yeah, and it's not a thing.
I can see
No. Google's
not good.
Google's not really a hardware. I'd be looking for somebody like Dell or Microsoft or something else to enter the fray, and just nobody quite does it like Apple. Especially in this boutique arena, like this pricey arena. Meta, Facebook, maybe they would come out with something like, I mean, they have their Meta Pro, which I guess is similar, but not the same. Like, this looks like a legal part from the options we've seen so far.
Well,
I just don't know if there's any company out there that has the billions and billions and billions that Apple has to sink into this. Yeah. It would have to be something like that.
Amazon's the only other company that could pull something like this off.
Yeah, because Apple can just sink just hundreds of millions of dollars into a venture like this.
Yeah,
No matter
Microsoft
what,
is not that company. They don't really make hardware.
And Amazon actually probably would do it.
Amazon is the only other company that
because Apple looks at it as they're going to establish the market, they're going to be the leader of the market, and then they're going to sell those devices for a generation. You know, so they'll take that cost up front. You look at them, look what they did with the computer, look what they did with the Mac, look what they did with the iPod, look what they did with the iPhone, with the iPad. That's exactly how I see this. I'm like, oh shit, this might be the next phone.
It's possible. I don't doubt it.
That's crazy, right?
Looks interesting.
Am I overselling it?
Not at all.
Yeah, I mean, you're basically we're gonna be Wall-E, where everybody just lives in a headset.
I don't think I'm like
fucking awful.
Am I being too optimistic?
I don't even see it as optimism. It's just this is what it is.
That's kind of where I'm at. Yeah, I don't even necessarily like it. Yeah, I'm with you. That's what I said. I'm with you. Like, I am more and more realizing, I'm more and more feeling my age. I feel increasingly like antiquated as like just a person. Like, I'm wondering how I'm going to make a living in a near future. You know, I'm like, I'm just going to be replaced. And then what do I do? I'm just going to work at like a car wash or something. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. And I'm just feeling my age. Like, I'm really feeling it. Like,
you're just going to put on the headset and you're going to be coding in the headset. It's not going to be.
I'm not a good coder.
You'll still be doing your SQL shit. You'll still be writing your programs because they'll still need them. they'll just be in the meta.
I think an AI is just going to replace that. I don't think coding is going to be a thing in 15.
The problem with AI is if you're gonna have AI replace everything, what are people gonna do? Like then we get to this world where you have all the haves and the have-nots because we didn't write the AI code or just living in this
Well-
fucking terrible society. Like that's what I see.
The scary part is, Dev, I agree with you, and I just think that's exactly where we're at. That's the problem. That's the point
That's
I'm trying to
where-
make.
that's
Is
where
I
we're
think
headed.
that's where we're going.
Yeah.
That's where we're headed. And I'm
Not
going to
too
be
far
my
from
guy. I'm going to be that dude out here, fucking Mad Maxing it down the road in this old ass
Mhm.
Roadrunner, burning actual gasoline with my Walkman and shit. Like
Well,
at
at
this
least you got
point,
the
I
car
am
for it.
old. I am just the old guy. Not that old, but I feel old.
I hate Apple. I hate everything about them. I hate Apple so
Jordan
much.
says, "Sounds corny, but this is the future. Love it or hate it."
I hate it, and if I can find a way to burn it all down, I will.
I think we should be saying it on our podcast.
I don't care. Fuck Apple. All right. They're the cause of the
Say
ruin
that.
and the declination of society. It's all Apple's fault.
That was Devin.
I'm gonna need like
That was Delvin.
a desert colony to
Oh.
join or something. You know, there'll be the off the grid people somewhere.
No, I need to find the Fight Club that wants to blow everything up.
Oh, that's dangerous. You shouldn't say that.
Like I said, I'm not,
It's like, that's the thing you should be.
That's
You just made a list somewhere, Dev.
Let's
I'm
reset
not-
society at this point. It's ridiculous.
Oof.
I hate it.
Devin, not Delvin. Remember that?
Madden has trot out their new game, which was releasing this year, that has what's his name? I just lost his name. I'm drinking.
The guy on the
Oh,
Bills.
just not
The Bills. Josh.
Josh Allen.
Thank
Josh
you.
Allen?
Josh Allen is our cover athlete, and EA is trotting out more improvements to field sense and a new Sapien technology, which apparently
What does
makes
that mean?
players more anatomically correct and makes their animations and movements more lifelike.
Good for them. I
And
didn't play
this
this
is-
year's Madden.
this is
I won't
something-
play next year's
They had
Madden.
multiple paragraphs talking about how much different this year's game is. I'm like, I'm not taking this bait anymore, guys. The same fucking game. You did it last year, and I played it. I was like, it's the same damn game. Like, it's
Yeah.
the same game.
And they tricked me 6 months down the line. Put an athlete on the cover that I like a lot, like Bo Jackson. That's how they got me last time.
Yep. But
Was
this
it
year
MVP edition?
there are some things to be excited about. For the first time, Madden will offer crossplay and feature parity across consoles and PC. So the last 2 years, Madden has had next gen on console only. PC players are playing some old trash. So now the PC players can actually play the new game with
The
everybody
12 of
else. And then we also get new modes with the returning Superstar mode, where you can play franchises like a defensive end or a tackle or cornerback or
I like
quarterback.
that.
Yeah. Super Showdown, which is a 3-on-3 mode. And they've got mini games that I saw. There's basically like a sizzle reel of these mini games that look terrible. Like the old training mode. Like you throw to a corner, you throw over there, like little rings and stuff.
It's just, for the people who don't know how to play Madden, this is how you're supposed to play Madden. I remember all those mini games. It's nothing new. It's just
Yeah.
the return of them.
But Super Showdown is cool. I like the 3-on-3 stuff. Madden's cool. Like I'm sure I'll play it. EA play at some point. I'm not buying another Madden game.
Rush Attack.
got me
is
last
back,
year.
Fucking Joe. Rush Attack
Like-
is back.
I give up. They got me last year and I was burned.
Yeah.
Well, at least now it'll be on PC and be, feature complete.
That's true.
For
He said,
all
I'll get it on
12 of
EA
you that
Play.
play on PC.
EA play, I'll get it for sure.
They run out of athletes to put on the cover to make me buy it now.
Our last
Deion,
news
Bo
story.
Jackson, those the ones.
That's just it. What if the Wayne Gretzky? What if they throw the white guy on it?
Nah.
Why would you?
Do you
put
even know who
Wayne
Josh
Gretzky
Allen
on the
is?
Cover, man?
Yes, I know who Josh Allen is.
What if it's Barry Sanders?
I'm not buying it for Josh Allen. Ooh.
So we
Yeah,
haven't
Cooper
talked. We've
Berry.
talked a lot of
Bring back
90s
Cyberberry.
basketball. Let's talk 90s football. What are the cover athletes that would get
Warren
Delvin?
Moon, baby, let's go.
Dude, I would buy
Run
a
and
Warren
shoot.
Moon edition.
Oilers,
Ooh,
let's
1,000%.
That's a hard
go.
one.
Randall Cunningham,
Oh, I love Randall Cunningham.
You want the Jerry Rice edition?
absolutely. Tim Brown
I get
edition.
that. I get that.
I wouldn't get the Tim Brown version.
Michael Irvin cocaine
would.
edition. Yeah, I'd get that.
Yeah, get the Coke White version with Michael Irvin on it for sure.
Yeah.
Coke White version. I would get that. I'm here for it. That's good.
It has like a razor blade in the box.
What about Terrell Davis? You buying the Terrell Davis version?
No. Nobody's buying the Terrell Davis version. Maybe somebody in Denver might.
I'm buying the Dan Marino edition.
I feel like I have to buy that edition.
Dan Marino was
They
fucking
kicked me out of
awesome,
Miami
man.
if I
He was
didn't.
so damn good.
They throw me out
buying
the
that
state.
shit. Hell,
He's like the
Laces
god of
Out
Miami.
Dan. It's got to be the Laces Out Dan edition. And if we're gonna do the Dan Marino edition, it's the Laces Out Dan edition. All right. Of course, if you're gonna have a Dan Marino edition, you got to have a John Elway edition.
Yeah, Steve Young.
I'm buying the Young edition. Just Niners.
I want the Emmett edition.
That's a good one. Yeah.
So then do we even bother doing players instead of just doing like 90s teams, like 90s franchises? So you do a Dallas
do
edition,
players.
90s Cowboys.
You do both.
It has a 90s
You
Cowboys,
can do
you have
90s
the
Cowboys,
90s
yeah.
Niners.
So the Barry Sanders edition sounds dope.
Cyber
You have to do a
edition
Barry
sounds
Sanders
dope.
edition.
You got to bring back Cyberberry. Give me a Reggie White edition. Just
That's a good
because.
I'm down.
Rest
I'm
in
down for
peace.
that. Chris Carter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. I don't care about Aikman as much.
Me either. Can
That's
we get
why you
a
put him in
boy
the
I
Dallas
love
Cowboys
losing
edition.
Super
Not
Bowls
like
edition?
Marino.
Just the 4-time
Buffalo Bills.
losing. Yeah, let's get a Bills losing edition.
Just-
Lovable losers
Just a
edition.
case with a big old L on it.
That's
Buffalo.
amazing.
Just the Bills is all lowercase.
The
except for
Madden
one L
L
is
edition?
uppercase,
God, that's terrible, Dylan.
with Thurman Thomas and his ugly ass face mask. Oh my god!
I'm just looking at.
Uh-huh.
If you do a
Wow,
Browns
what's it?
edition, it's just them with the paper bag over their head.
No, the team they
That's
released an edition without the Browns on it. That would sell so well. I think if you just told everybody like, here's the edition that just the Browns aren't included, everybody else buys more of it. Like, this is the one. We're playing this one for a decade, guys. We never have to see the Browns again. God.
Oh, can we get a Dirty Bird Atlanta edition?
Oh, the Jamal Anderson cover, dude.
Yeah.
You want the Lawrence Taylor cover?
Also a
Yeah,
Coke White
that's
edition.
dope.
That's it. That's the
Yeah.
one we need.
Gotta have
It's the hero we need. That's good. Deion's
Oh,
had to have a cover by now, right?
It
Like
was
a
last
special
year.
edition. Was it last
MVP
year?
edition last year. I think it was
I
last year.
didn't
Yeah.
even know that.
That's
See,
what I was
that's
saying. Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders had like covers. The
Yeah, I don't
MVP
even
edition. They
Buy the
released it like 6
MVP
months later.
edition. So, Ray Lewis and Randy Moss. Yeah,
Ray Lewis was on a cover not too long ago. Well, I think he was on 2005.
Had
So if
Reed.
we're doing that, can we get the program edition of college football?
Gotta be cool.
Ooh. That'd be good. I don't know who they're going to put on the cover. I'm interested to see who the first cover person for. I guess who would overwin the Heisman this year.
I guess
It's not
yeah.
coming out till next year, so we don't even know. But it'll be fun. I'm excited. I'm gonna have
What
to.
was the football game?
I'm gonna have to put NCAA
Yeah.
on my ally. I watched somebody play it, and I was like, "Holy crap!" I didn't even know this was a thing, and I immediately tagged Garrett. I was like, "This is yeah." And I don't think I'm gonna go that hard because they apparently are running it like on a PS3 emulator. I'm not gonna do that, but it did get me thinking. I think I am gonna put a PS2 emulator on it just so I can run like a local version of NCAA football on the ally.
What was the football game? Y'all might remember it. That wasn't NFL sponsored, but it was like playmakers. 'Cause, like I think Lawrence Taylor was the cover athlete for it, and it was
All pro.
like tell.
All pro.
Yeah.
That's what
All
it
pro
was.
football.
Is that
Yep.
the one that had the
It was like
stories
a
where
Legends. It was like because back that I think that came from the Legends of Wrestling like type of series where they were like, we'll just get players that aren't in the league. And I actually think that's a great idea. Like, I think Super Mega Baseball is kind of doing that, and I wish they did it harder. Like, I love the idea of just getting a bunch of retired players and putting them all in one league, like in one game. But I think it has less appeal if you don't get the teams. But I've always wondered if they could do like an arcade version of a football game with legend players, but with the NFL license. That like doesn't compete with Madden, but it's like its own thing. And I think that'd be a lot of fun. I think that would be a shit ton.
You know what it was? I'm thinking of Blitz the League.
Oh, Blitz. Well, yeah, the Blitz was no. Blitz wasn't the Legends game though.
No, it was Blitz the League. It had Lawrence Taylor in it as the cover athlete that had a story mode that was wild because they were doing like coke in the story mode and stuff like that. It was like
what?
They were fictional teams. Yeah.
No way.
Yes.
They were not doing coke in the story.
It was Google this. It's a Lawrence Taylor game. And they were kind of doing like a playmaker storyline into it.
I'm looking at Blitz the League 2 with Lawrence Taylor on the cover.
One. If I remember correct, that's the one. It's a whole story mode into it, and it like touched on all kind of weird, wild stuff.
If you can do cocaine in Blitz the League 2, I'm buying a copy of this game and I'm going to play it. This would be the first time I've ever heard about it. This is insane. It's not possible. Oh my God. I just found a YouTube video that says Blitz the League 2 walk through episode 1, steroids, drugs, and football. The fuck?
I played this game. It's a wild game.
Of course you've played this game.
Yeah, when it came out, they were like hyping it like it's supposed to be like Playmakers, the game, but it's Blitz.
Oh, dude, the guy, is this Lawrence? I don't have the audio up, but I'm looking at a group of guys around the bar. I assume this character is supposed to be Lawrence Taylor. He legit looks just like Franklin from like GTA 5. It just looks like Franklin playing football.
I think you play as a rookie and you're going through the story mode and stuff like that.
I'm posting the link in the chat. Click on this.
It's a wild game. I'm surprised
Why is Franklin playing football? It didn't even look like Lawrence Taylor.
Oh my God.
All right, I got to play this game. I didn't know this existed. This has to happen now. I'm going to stop playing Zelda and the Division and everything else. Drop everything and go play cocaine football the game.
Yeah, it's a regular Blitz game, but it has a full campaign mode in it.
This says Blitz the League walk through episode 6. The subtitle is he died in the middle of the game. People dying?
Jesus. Yes, it's like an HBO drama series almost.
Dude, the uniforms and stuff look like they were ripped right out of Any Given Sunday. This shit looks like Any Given Sunday the game.
That's exactly what it is. I think the team's called like the Nightmare or something like that.
Oh my God. How have I never known about this? What is this on?
I think it's on Xbox and Xbox 360.
I should don't have a 360 anymore. Just gave away a PS3.
It's on PlayStation 2 and Xbox initially. I think it came on Xbox 360.
If it's on PS2, then I'm good. I still have my PS2 hooked up. I have to look this up. This is crazy. Yeah. That's the game we need. We need to bring back Blitz the League.
I'm surprised you didn't know about this one.
Yeah, I don't.
But then again, I don't know if it was as popular.
But see, back then, Madden and NCAA were good. So I wasn't looking at other games. Because they were good. It's just only now that they suck that I'm like interested in other games.
Yeah.
And Madden doesn't suck. Madden's fine. Like it's good for what it is. It's just not. I haven't really enjoyed playing a Madden game in many years.
Yeah, it just toes the course. They do minor updates to it now. It's not like it was before.
I mean, even like I don't like the loop as much, like the mechanics, the feeling of playing Madden. I don't like as much. Specifically, the running game. Running games just feels real rigid and like almost like kind of cookie cutter. They've got like zones and stuff they push you to, and it's just not. I don't like it as much. I feel like the older games were more fluid. I felt like it has more control.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Okay. Our last news story, our last headline is Hideo Kojima was releasing a documentary called Connecting Worlds. And the tagline I wrote, Connecting Worlds, a Hideo Kojima documentary starring Hideo Kojima. Because that's exactly what this looks like. They called him the first video game auteur ever. It's basically just a documentary that Hideo Kojima is doing that celebrates how much of a genius he is. This would be like Elon Musk publishing the documentary. I'm probably going to watch it because I mentioned, like, I'm not like I do not love Hideo Kojima like the people we know love him. I don't think he's like amazing in that regard, but I do think he's one of the better video game directors that we've seen across my lifetime. So I'm interested in, I'll watch it. Hopefully it's entertaining. But if it keeps going down, if it goes down the angle that this trailer went down, if it's all about him being the first auteur of video games, like, I'm gonna turn it off. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and listen to circle jerk for an hour and a half. Yeah, how are you gonna say that when Miyamoto exists?
I kind of want the true Hollywood story of this story, not his version of it.
I'm interested to know if he even addresses Konami. My guess would be no. My guess is he won't even say Konami.
Where he can't. He's probably got something where he can't.
Yeah. I'd also be interested in just knowing. I would be interested in to see if he does any sort of candidness on Metal Gear at all. It doesn't have to be like controversial. Like, I would just love to hear him talk about like how much Metal Gear means to him and stuff. I think
he's talked about it. He's talked about Metal Gear before in that sense. Like, he's given interviews where he talked about how much he loves it. And he's happy to see it and
quotes and stuff. Hands. I would like to see it more long form. I would actually like to sit down and listen and talk about Metal Gear for a little bit.
Yeah, I ain't watching that shit. Fuck a documentary.
Yeah,
I'm good.
I like documentaries.
I like documentaries.
I do too.
I do too. Just not about this.
Our Gold Coin Presents segment, Delvin is in the league 12, 11 to 11. So before I read the next one's Dev, I think we should establish a rule now. If you were in the lead, then you must pick first.
Yeah.
God damn.
So Delvin, over under 88.5 for Final Fantasy 16.
I'm going the under.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I wanted you to take the over. I wanted to counter pick it. I think Final Fantasy looks good. 89 seems high. It really does, doesn't it? Like 89, like if it was a little bit lower, I'd take the over, but 89 seems high. What did 16 get? Or 15? What did the last one get? Oh shit, 15? Remake didn't even get an 89. All right, I'm taking under. That's a lost cause. Never mind. I'm glad I Googled that real quick. If 7 didn't get there, I don't think this one's getting there.
And 7's fantastic.
Right. And if that's not an 89, like this shit doesn't have a stand a chance.
Yeah. I gotta go with the under.
All right, Delvin. Over under 2.5 of the Xbox exclusive 5 will be shown at the showcase. The exclusive 5 are Hellblade 2, Avowed, Fable, Perfect Dark, and State of Decay.
How do you show 2.5 games?
It's, you know how betting lines work?
Yeah, but
the point is to make you pick, are you taking 3 or more or under 3? That's the point.
It has to be one of these games, right?
One of these 5. Hellblade 2, Avowed,
you're gonna see 3
Fable,
of these or less.
Perfect Dark, State of Decay 3. Are you going to see 3 of those or less than 3?
Less than 3.
And I'll take the over.
As will I.
I think we will see Hellblade 2, Avowed, and Fable. Not guaranteed, but I think those are good guess. I could even switch out Avowed for State of Decay. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure we're going to see State of Decay 3.
That's probably not a terrible idea.
Yeah,
but I think Delvin, you might get the point on this one. You might get the point on this one.
It's going to be an interesting one.
But this is a good counter pick. And that's it. That's the end of our news.
All right. It's question time, ladies and gentlemen. Up first, we got Antez. He says, how do you find time to game as busy adults? With my 12-hour shifts, family stuff, church stuff, I can't really game anymore. So I listen to podcasts these days and catch up on Twitter here and there to see what's going on. I can start this off by saying I don't play video games anymore.
I was gonna say that.
Barely
We don't
play
have time.
anything. Like,
Absolutely not.
it's really hard. It's really hard. Like I listened to Donnie say, I played Breath of the Wild for 10 hours the other day. I'm like, man, I can't do that. I wish I could. But I think with my kids being the ages they are, the fact that I also have church stuff, like I'm at church more often than I should be probably at this point. I don't have super long work shifts, but it's just when I get home, it's like you shift mode into like dad and husband mode. So I don't have a lot of times, which is why I try to pick only gyms to play, baby. So give me the PlayStation third person action adventure large game, and that's what I'm gonna jump into and play that. I don't really have time for all the little indie games that might catch my eye, but I feel you, bro. It's tough, man. It's tough.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I just kind of like make time when I make time. That's kind of what it is. Cause I'm literally always busy. People kind of say, oh, I'm literally always busy. It's get to my kids, my ex, my grandmother. I'm always gonna have something to do. So anytime I have any free time, I either try to keep it to gaming or honestly speaking, just catching up on TV shows. Like I have, we talked about it last week. I bought Final Girls, the board game.
Yeah.
I just got all the pieces in it like this week, and I haven't even had a chance to play that yet. And I'm super excited for that. So just gotta make time for it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think all of your answers are right. I just make time for it. I think it probably comes at a detriment. I could probably be a better father. I could probably be more healthy. I don't watch TV shows. I've always said, I think it's a big reason why I don't. It's the commitment. It's the time commitment. The amount of time it takes to stay current and keep up to date with a series is so much grander. And it really eats into like, how am I going to find 100 hours to play Zelda? You know, you can't do both. Can't make it. You can't serve every master. You got to pick one. But I do love video games, so I think I just try to make time for it. And I don't always play video games. I haven't played a lot this week. I've only played a couple hours this week, period. You know, so like when I get busy, sometimes I'll steal away from my video game time. But when I have free time, and I do prioritize free time. I think definitely more than Dev does, I think, but maybe more than most. Like I don't do a lot of activities. I don't go to church. I don't like truly go out. If at all possible, I try to keep my free time free. I think honestly, I think the older I got, the more I stick to that. I think 10 years ago, I had, way less free time because I was constantly working or going to school or doing the family thing. Right. And as more of that time is wore off, the more I trying my best to protect that free time. Like, no, don't be scheduling shit for me. Like I got plans, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, once my kids get older and I have more free time that doesn't revolve around things for them, hopefully I'll have more game times. But I'm the same way with you with TV. Like I don't watch a lot of shows, and usually it'll just be there's no game that I really want to play right now, and that's when I'll like dive
Watch
into a
TV.
TV show and just binge the whole season. But typically, people are always asking, "What are you watching?" I'm not, because I'm playing this video game. I'd much rather play a video game than watch a TV show or watch a movie or whatnot. I don't want to sit there for 2.5 hours just sitting there watching the TV when I could be playing a video game instead.
Yep. Same.
All right. Next question comes from Greg. He says, "Hello, my fellow elder gamers. How has the game industry changed since when you first got started? Is there anything that you miss from the old days?" First and foremost, print media. I miss video game magazines. I used to love getting video game magazines in the mail or at the newsstand or whatnot. Just the excitement that you got when it was new edition, new month. You could see all these new game previews. It wasn't the same as how like now you just pull up a internet page and you've got access to everything all the time. It was just way more exciting. So that's probably the one thing that I miss from the old days is just like not having instant access for everything and being excited about video game magazines and previews and reviews for stuff in a world where you didn't have just instant access to everything.
It's a good one. Still enjoy holding video game, publication, be books or paper. There is a nostalgic feeling. When I see stuff like that, I do miss that a little bit.
This is the great question because y'all know I'm old. Gaming has changed so much from when I was a kid to now. Like I was playing like the Atari 2600.
Yep.
Like me
television,
imagining what gaming is. Yeah. Me imagining what video games is now was not even fathomable.
Yeah, bro.
And I think not even close. One thing I do miss from like my childhood and stuff like that is Toys R Us.
Absolutely.
Specifically, like the gaming section. Walking in the gaming section was an experience. Like you walk in and you see all these cool rows of games of NES, Super NES games. And you just grab the little card and walk up to pay for it. That was just such a experience because you got to see
why they changed that. That should have been the video game experience forever because it was just so cool to see the front and back of the game and you just grabbed the little slip and took it to the cage.
I was going to say that.
Like, I don't know why they ever changed that. Like, that was genius.
Yes, buying games based off the box art was our lifestyle. Like, hey, this looks cool. This is what I'm going to buy. That's not really a thing now.
I did have movies. I feel an urge to just say I've never been to Toys R Us.
Wow.
You've never been inside a Toys R Us?
Nope, never did.
Wow.
Couldn't afford it when they were like a big popular thing. By the time I got older, they were either already closed down or phasing off and became a shell of itself. So I never had
Even
any need
just
to go.
For toys?
No, like I've never been to Toys R Us.
Wow. That's
I never had a G.I. Joe.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I used to save all my little quarters and stuff. And once I got $3, Mom, can we go to Toys R Us so I can buy a G.I. Joe? That's crazy. You know what I also miss? Arcades. Like actual arcades. Like they don't exist the way they used to anymore. Like you used to have arcades
Dave and
pizza places. It's not the same. Like it was a very different feel going into like an actual arcade versus going into like Dave and Buster's. Even going into like a pizza place that had an arcade attached to it. Like it just was a totally different feel. And also the games in the arcade were so much better than what you had at home. Like the graphical difference, the fidelity, the processing power was so drastically different. Like you're playing Nintendo NES at home, and then you've got the Ninja Turtles arcade game in the arcade, and you're just like, holy shit. Or you've got Final Fight or Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter 2, like all of these really awesome looking games that you just can't duplicate at home at all.
And then when you're in the arcade, it's certain like touchstones, like actual arcades that was there. Like it always felt like it was full of smoke. Like it always had like this smoky feel to it, like this. And then you had like the little coin machine.
Dungeon Underground.
Yeah, it's just a vibe to it that you just can't emulate anywhere else. Like Dave & Buster's doesn't have that vibe.
It doesn't. It just doesn't, man. But yeah, I mean, we've seen
tokens.
I'm not as old as you guys, so yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we've seen so many shifts, like just like the shift from physical to digital, the shift from cartridges to discs,
back to
the price changing. Yeah, like so many different things we've seen change in the industry, like the death of the AA studio.
Yeah. I don't think the answer that I want to say, I don't think is particularly a good one. It might just be a me thing. But I feel like the games industry is way more like politically correct now than the game industry that I remember. When I first started like buying my own games, not just like in personality, but also like in just the games they make, the products they make. I I think we have to
you can make that sense.
rely too much on the indie space for that sort of stuff now.
It's the
And,
world that we've inherited now. It's
Well-
the world. The world is more politically correct.
I think
Everybody is-
we've lost a little bit maybe of like the fun factor and like variety. And a lot of my favorite games, I think, maybe come more from that tree.
Yeah.
So I feel like particularly squeezed. You know, like if I don't have
Mortal
like a
Kombat could not exist if it wasn't already an existing franchise. It's not a game that would be able to get made today.
Yeah, it'd be really
probably.
hard to kind of sell that idea.
Yeah, it does just kind of get a pass because it's always just been Mortal Kombat.
Mhm.
But if we had never known what Mortal Kombat was and it just came out and you're ripping people's spines out and stuff, you're probably right.
Yep. Same with Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Would not exist in this culture. I'm very curious to see what Grand Theft Auto 6 looks like.
And I think that's more of the thing that I'm talking about. Even the games that we like do seem to be just getting, you know, scaled back. I'm not sure if it's just like it is definitely society, but it feels like a pressure, you know. And I think that's probably the thing that I miss most. Is I like when the games that I grew up in, and it's just again reflecting society is probably the best way of putting it. But when I started thinking about the games that I grew up with, and they really kind of followed movies. Like I'm from that extreme generation where like there was nothing too over the top, there was nothing too offensive. So I think it's you know, it's just like a stretch to come back down to 2022 and 2023 where everything is offensive to everybody.
Offensive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, man, and it's not that I want things to just be offensive for offensive sake. That's not what I'm trying to say. I just want people to be like left alone to make their creative freedom. You know, like their vision. I want things to have variety. Like if that's the game you want to make, that's great. But I wish we weren't like making a game that just appealed to everybody all the time.
I agree with that 1000%. If you don't like it, it's not for you. That's fine. Like everything can't always be hunky dory and politically correct.
There's crazy things just coming out like
art.
Condemned and Mad World and No More Heroes and Deadly Premonition. And like we still got those with Madden, Call of Duty, and you know, all those, even Call of Duty. I mean, look how different Call of Duty's changed. You know, like they get so much shit. Far Cry gets so much shit. So many people get so much shit from things that would be considered vanilla by 2002 standard.
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto. You know, I don't necessarily like the tone back climate, the button up climate. It just feels like a button up generation of video games.
Yeah. No more
What was
Triple
that
X
game?
BMX racing.
What was that game Rockstar released? Where you were
Manhunt.
like a serial. Yes,
Man,
I was gonna say we don't get games like that anymore. Where you
I
just
still
play
have my
this
PS2 copy of that. Just
particular
because
person.
just because of it, because of how sign of the times it is and how like there's no way you're making anything like that again. So I held on to that
Yeah.
physical copy.
It's such an interesting game that we just won't see. Like that game was brutal.
and even
Mhm.
And
even
unique.
outside of like the actual products themselves, the industry didn't take itself so seriously.
Yeah.
You know, and it felt not always, not in every aspect, but in some aspects, I think it felt more fun. Like the marketing was more fun. The events were more fun. They seemed to be centered around having fun and not so much like we can't do anything that risks or jeopardizes this $1 million bet we've made, which is what everything seems like today. Everything seems like it's on the brink of collapsing. You know, everything's real professional. I remember we had Aisha Tyler at the Ubisoft show. That wasn't even that long ago, a few years ago, right? That was really fun because it just felt like video games. You know, like I miss that, like the Kevin Butler, you know, aspects of E3. Like it just, we used to have fun. Like it wasn't so formal. It feels like everything
it's way
now
too
is
businessy.
very businessy, very high level marketing, just very professional.
It's like
You
they
know.
forgot who they're making games for. Like you make games. Like loosen the fuck up. Like
Well,
A little bit,
I-
yeah.
I think what happened was as we grew up, the gaming industry also grew up. And it kind of like reflects on that. They're trying to make more adult games instead of making like, hey,
we are not adults.
I think we're making less adult games.
We're
I
children.
think you're I think the logic you were making was sound until you said that. Like your
I
argument
think-
was
I think
better
they are
until you
making-
started to talk about the game. We have less adult
I think
games
they
than
are.
ever, actually.
I think we have more adult games, but not the adult games we're looking for. I think they're making stuff that's more serious based, but not necessarily edgy. Like they're telling more story based things and uplifting, fulfilling stories, but you're not necessarily getting the edge that we used to get. Like we're not getting modern Duke Nukem games. We're not
True.
getting things that's going to push the
Hail to the
boundaries
king,
of
baby.
while having fun. Because people who played games like Duke Nukem thought them as fun games. They didn't think of like, oh, this is like a wrong thing, or
Yeah, it's just
even
silly
Leisure Suit Larry if
nonsense.
you want to go there.
Mhm.
Yeah. We're not getting that. We're getting more, hey, we're going to tell this compelling story, and this is more of like an art type thing as opposed to video games being fun.
First of all, when you come out at a show, at a showcase, and you're talking about video games, you shouldn't come out in a suit. This is games. This is
Right.
gaming. Have
Right.
some fun. Like, stop
Should be an
taking yourself
executive,
so serious. Yeah,
a
no.
corporate, that's kind of the vibe is really what I'm describing.
Mhm.
Like the zeitgeist was just way different, And I do think your point is sound, Delvin. I think what we had is at the time we had a bunch of college kids making games that looked like college kids, and now those dudes are like 50 or older, so it does seem like
Yeah.
it's grown up a bit, but there's still like that young appeal, that youthness of just the business that seems to have been lost. It seems like that youth movement that still exists in video game industry now is just buttoned up. Like they're not on stage. They would never be allowed to be themselves. Could you imagine?
Right.
Like that's the part that seems missing. Like I wonder a lot, like if, let's say E3 came back, does E3 in 2023 seem nearly as fun as E3 in 2009 did?
Nope.
It seemed, like, and it might just be popularity. It's more wide reaching now than it was then.
It feels
yeah.
less like a celebration. Like E3 used to feel like a celebration, like it was Christmas time. Where
Yeah.
now it's just so corporate and driven and businessy.
When I
instead
think
of,
back
like,
to the
this
early
celebration
E3
of
shows
just
that I
fun.
saw, like 2003, 2002, like even not the non E3 shows back then, it just seemed way more fun. The crowd seemed to be into it. It was way low key, like the people that were talking seemed to have more connection with the people that were in the audience.
Yep.
A lot of those things I think all feel missing.
But
It's the money, man.
to-
It's the money.
to what y'all was saying, I think that's why people kind of freaked out and kind of enjoyed when the guy, what's the name of the guy who made It Takes Two? Joseph, I think his name is Joseph.
Yeah.
When he came on stage and was like so pumped about the game, he was cursing
Fuck you
and stuff like
guys.
that. I think that's why
Fuck
so many
the
people kind of
Oscars.
connected with that, because that's what people wanted. That's what people kind of remember.
There is a
from those type of
rebel
days.
energy that's missing, or at least that,
Mhm.
that I associated with games from when I grew up that seems completely vacant from games now. There's no Cliffy B. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing,
Yeah.
like it's just gone. It's not there anymore. And it's like, but that's
No
all I
personality.
knew when I was younger.
Yeah. We need more Jack Black and less
Yeah. Jim Ryan.
anybody else at this point. Less Jim
Ryan,
Ryan.
yeah.
Yes. Thank you. More
That-
Jack
that
Black.
is the
less
answer.
Jim Ryan is such a, and look, I've said a lot of things, but he's such a bad figurehead for video
He
games. Like
sucks.
Iwata was fun. Reggie was
Mhm.
fun.
Reggie was fun.
You know,
yeah.
Jack Tretton was fun, man. Jackie T was just fun.
Jackie T, man. Yeah.
Like there's nothing fun about that man at all. He's
Yeah.
Dev Buzz Killington of video games. He just comes out
Absolutely.
here and it's like
Yeah.
we're listening to our grandfather. He's like, talk about an old wooden ship. Like, shut up. Where the hell is Shuhei? Get this
Yeah.
guy off the fucking stage. Shu was fun. Yeah, there's like that
She was
fun
fun.
aspect.
Adam Boys was fun.
Yeah, it's
Like,
gone.
yeah.
It's just
It's
gone.
Yeah. It's so sad.
I think it is a big reason. I mean, it is a reason why I always was attracted to Suda, but it is a big reason why, the longer it goes on, the more I stick with it. Cause I feel like he still brings that
Mhm.
energy, and it's just null and void like everywhere else.
Yep. We need more Devolver. That's
Yes,
basically it.
yeah,
Let
that's a
Devolver just run
Yeah.
everybody's show.
everything that I said could just be summed up. We need more Devolver.
Devolver
That's
just has
exactly
fun.
how I feel.
We got games and it's gonna be fun. We're gonna celebrate these games and do some just
Crazy
off the wall,
shit. We have a game that's called
nonsensical
Angry
stuff.
Foot. We're not
Yeah.
trying to make you feel bad. We're not trying to give you political issues. You are literally a person who kicks people in the fucking face with your foot. You know?
Like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, we need more Devolver. That's the best way of putting all of that to surmise all of that. Is we need more Devolver in the
I
video
agree.
game business.
We need to stop taking gaming so serious and let it be a little juvenile from time to time.
It'd be great. It'd be nice.
So yeah, that's a long-winded answer to answer your question, Greg.
Yes.
The
Thank you, brother.
international champion of Nougat says, when do you see VR really taking off, if ever? I mean, do you think people are going to pay this $3,500 just because it's Apple? Yes, they will, because it's Apple. And when is VR going to take off, if ever? 5 years.
I'm not
Yeah.
lopping what the Apple thing into with VR. I don't think they're the
Yeah,
same
that's something
thing.
different. VR
It's
is
completely different thing.
Apple is doing something different.
I understand it's a headset that you put on your head. I understand it may have some sort of virtual reality-esque application, but what Apple is going for, the vision for the product, is not what we think of when we think of virtual reality video games. They're thinking of like a new societal norm. They're
Mhm.
literally pushing like a new standard, like daily practice. It's so far
They're
different than
creating a
what
new world
Meta
order.
and PlayStation are doing. They're literally just trying to make video games that you just strap a helmet into.
You know what? To add on the Apple thing, I think that thing will blow up. Well, versions of that will blow up when it becomes like a cell phone, where you can take it everywhere you go, and you pay for it with your plan. Like, hey,
Why would you take it anywhere?
Yeah, I think
It
the point
takes
of it
you
is that you don't
places.
have, it takes you, yeah, exactly. I think the point of it is the opposite, is you
Yeah.
don't have to take it anywhere.
but I think that the whole thing is they're gonna make it so you need to use it everywhere you go, anytime and everywhere you go. That's the thing about a cell phone. You don't need it until you need
The
it.
whole point, Delvin, is that you don't have to go anywhere. You
I think
put
the point
thing
you're
on, and it
making is that,
takes you.
like the cell phone, it has a cell phone like utility. We're using it all the time. Let's remove the location
Yes,
part of
that's
it,
the
because
point.
yeah, I don't think
Mhm.
you're going to be moving locations. I think the point of what the Apple device is that you put it on, your sister puts it on, and the two of you are in different places. You sit down and you look at each other on the couch like you're in the same room.
Yeah, it's like American Express. It's anywhere you want to be.
I think it's gonna be a lot more than that. I think that thing, what their plans are, is really ambitious. It's gonna be super interesting to see how that pans out.
It's Ready Player One. You
It
put
really
the
is.
thing on, you go to school. That's how you go to school, in that mask.
And we're going to
That's how you
make a
go to work,
living in
that
the
mask.
Apple verse. We're going to have like jobs where we put the helmet on and we go into the Apple verse to do things.
Yeah, you go to the grocery
Probably.
store in the mask, and the groceries get delivered to you
They
by
just
a
show
robot.
up. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the other thing I was thinking about. And this just jogged my memory. When I was watching that thing, I was like, could you imagine putting the helmet on and then like having a chef like literally show you like what to do while you're like this, like the application of something like YouTube to this helmet in augmented reality is huge. Somebody
Mhm.
showing you how to repair, you know, any sort of device like right in front of you, how to fix your sink, how to fix
You
your
put it
refrigerator, your
on,
dishwasher.
It
Like,
projects it right in front of you, and you're just
Oh my
doing the
God.
thing with the thing.
it's one of those things where you look at it and you're like, that'll never be a thing. And then it happens, and it happens overnight. Because once it becomes affordable and convenient, it just takes off and it just becomes a thing.
And that's my point.
Yeah.
Like version 1 may not. Version 2 and 3 might be it.
Version 5.
There have been rumors this headset was coming for months. What they showed and the impressions that I've seen that went hands-on with it afterwards, they are so much further along than I ever expected them. Like they're so much closer to that vision than I was anticipating. I was thinking it'd be like some sort of Meta clone, and it looks like they just destroyed Meta. It's like, this is not that at all. Wow. Go Apple, I guess. They're really doing something over there.
Some
Trying to.
bitches.
All it is $3,500 and it's yours.
No, thank you, friend.
Well, it's also like a dev build, right? It's for professional. Like it's the product that they like. The price for that product is different than what people are trying to attribute it to.
Well, yeah, but people
It's
like
not
to be on
meant
the
for
ground
anybody
floor.
to actually anybody just in general at home to go out and spend $3,500. That's not what
But
that's being meant for. People will.
People like to be on. People will because they
Of
like
course,
to be on
yeah,
ground floor
people
these type of
will,
things.
but that's not what it's for. So I think all the blogs that are writing these headlines or these tweets, like calling it dead on arrival, because they're missing the complete point. Like that's not what it's intended for at the moment. Give it a minute.
They also are missing the fact that it's Apple.
Right.
And there are a lot of people who love Apple so much they will buy this.
Oh, dude,
because they
people are
love Apple.
stoked. Yeah,
Yes.
the tech YouTubers that I follow are over the moon. They're so excited for this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They will save up for it.
Yeah,
to buy it. Like, it's
They're
not a
not
thing.
going to save up for shit. They're going to get them sent to them.
That's true.
That's the
That
difference
too.
between the reality and the people who make all the tech videos. Like, they just get the products. It's so much easier to be excited and over the moon about something when you don't have to drop.
Not all of them. Some of them.
$3,500.
I follow some lower tier folks that they buy stuff.
I'm sure they get a lot of that.
They're very
from
excited
podcasts,
too.
though. Yeah.
So how do we get on the tier where we get free stuff?
We're
We're
a long
still
way
trying
away.
to get there.
We're
We
so
just
far away.
got Ubisoft stuff, so
Yeah, be happy.
We're scraping the bottom of the barrel at this point.
We're gonna get Skull and Bones pre-release. Be excited.
We'll give that to Stingray X because they know.
Yeah, we're gonna let Delvin cover Skull and Bones.
Yeah.
You're in the Skull and Bones department.
Yeah, that's
Y'all
your
really,
job.
y'all really
Sir.
hate me. Fuck, I didn't. Y'all
Better get that Steam Deck ready.
Get it ready, baby. Me and Donnie are gonna play Mirage. You get Skull and Bones.
That's true. This is true.
Damn it.
Shifting gears to something way more ridiculous. Cal the Pug wants to know if wrestlers from WWE or AEW became characters from Tears of the Kingdom, which character role do you see them as? I don't
The
even
fuck
know.
is this question?
This is Cal the
I
Pug.
don't know.
Who's Zelda? How do you even do this? This doesn't make any sense.
Huh.
I got
Who is
nothing.
Zelda?
Alexa Bliss, Zelda. Alexa
Okay, who's Link?
Bliss.
Cody?
I guess.
It's got to be Cody, which would make
It has to be
Roman
Cody, yeah.
Ganon.
I'm gonna say Brock Lesnar's Ganon.
Right, but it can't be because Cody's feuding with him and he's got all the belts and stuff. He's the ultimate heel. It's got to be Ganon. Roman has to be Ganon.
That works then. Yeah.
Brock would be like, I don't know, like a boss or like Shadow Ganon or something.
Yeah.
Any other characters you want to try to make?
I don't know any of these motherfuckers. That's
Like, I mean, I don't
the
care
hot
about
girl
the
with the
sub
glasses.
champions and all that. I could care less about.
I couldn't name another character. Other
Yeah, who's
than
Pura?
Pura, because y'all bring her up
Dude,
so
she's
much.
so hot.
that's
so
why I said the hot
thirsty
girl
for
with the
Pura.
glasses. Pura.
The bunny.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
No idea what you're all talking about. I got nothing.
It's
Thanks
a
a
weird
lot,
question,
Kyle,
Kyle.
for a dumbass question. You're gonna get banned for questions for this.
It's a weird
nonsense.
question.
Wow.
Just stupid.
See, for once I didn't say
John.
fuck you, Counterpuck. See?
I was waiting for you to say that. That's what I was waiting on.
Well, fuck you, Counterpuck. There you go.
There it
Yeah,
is. There it
like you
is.
said.
We love you. John 32 says, what would be your craziest theme idea for a Devolver showcase? Or is it not even worth trying to answer this question?
That's correct.
That is the correct response because ain't nobody going to out Devolver Devolver. All right. We're just going to show up and get along for the ride.
I miss their indie or more presentations. They've become such high production things lately. I kind
That's
of
true.
digged it when it was a little more indie. Kind of like us. Like I like the fact that our show is a little bit more indie. The Devolver shows early on were fucking just bizarre and wacky, wrestling
Super
matches
bizarre.
and newscasts and stuff like that was a lot of fun. And the productions have been really fun too, especially if you're like following the overarching narrative, but not in the same way fun. I think the Devolver with money might be more entertaining,
Yeah.
but the Devolver without money might be more like charmful. Like they're closer to my heart. I like that spirit, that energy that they brought a little bit more. Because their first few showcases, or anybody that didn't watch those, we streamed them. Their first few showcases
Oh my God.
looked like they were just broke. And they looked like they filmed that like something we'd film at the house party. Like, there wasn't a whole lot to it, but it was hilarious and a lot of fun. The new stuff, they definitely have a lot more money to spend, and they're very entertaining, more cinematic, but maybe less
Charming. Yeah.
Less endearing.
Yeah. Coach Hulk says, after losing in the second round of a FIFA tournament representing PSVG, how long do I have till I can be allowed back in the Discord?
You're allowed back, and we don't care about no FIFA.
I was gonna say I don't even know if we should allow you back because you're playing FIFA, but it's not hockey.
Yeah,
so
that's the problem.
I think you're okay.
Yeah,
if it was hockey, you'd be banned for life.
Coach, win me one NBA Finals, NBA 2K, and then you're allowed back in.
There you go.
Go represent us in the NBA Finals with the Lakers, who are going to sign Chris Paul.
Cliff Paul.
It's got to be there. He's got to go to the Lakers, right? Cliff Paul.
I mean, I can't see him really going anywhere else.
Anywhere else? Like I'm trying to. I think there's good arguments to make. Like if he wants to come off the bench for Milwaukee, I can
see that.
Philly.
I can see Philly too.
Philly's not a bad fit. Just on the floor, fit wise, Philly makes sense. If Harden stays.
Yeah.
It's not bad. Maxey comes off the bench.
I can definitely see him coming to the Lakers.
Unless
we somehow get Kyrie.
He's going to come to the Lakers for like the biannual exception. 10, 15
That's if
million.
he gets waived, because it's not a guarantee that he gets waived either. No, I don't think they did.
No, they waived him. He's done. He's waived.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, he's waived.
I read something not too long ago that said that they were still having
No, he's waived. They're waiving him. Oh, shit. And I didn't even think of this one, and this is a great answer. The Clippers.
I thought about that too. I was going to say the Clippers too.
I didn't even think of them. That's a good fit. Kawhi, George, Chris Paul. Would they keep Westbrook, or they let Westbrook move on?
I think they're going to keep Westbrook.
He played
mainly
well
because of how well he played and the dynamic that he and Paul George have.
I think the question with Paul with the Suns isn't if they're waiving him; it's if they're going to stretch him or just waive him. Because they stretch his salary out over multiple seasons, which would free up a little bit more cap this year, which is what I would expect them to do. They flat out waive him and pay him his guarantee and move on, which would give them less money. I think the only reason they're waiving him is to make more money. So I think they're going to waive him.
Yes.
I think they're going to waive him. They're going to trade Ayton, and they're going to try to build around Durant and Booker for the next
with a whole new coach,
5 to 7 years.
Fucking nonsense.
Chris Paul and the Lakers makes a lot of sense from the money angle, from the role angle, from the fit angle. Like there's all the stars seem to align for him to go to the Lakers.
Yeah. Is there a way to ban Smoking Joe from the chat? Because this man is smoking crack here, sir.
The
Clippers
LA
are not
team.
the real LA team. You need to stop that. Stop that nonsense. I understand you're a Boston fan, but we will not allow this kind of slander and nonsense to happen. If I could find a way to kick you out the chat, I would do it.
I mean, I would say they're the real LA team if their players could really play, but they're always on the bench and in the medical and the ER and stuff. So,
yeah, you guys can actually be considered a team when you win a championship. Until you have a banner, you're not.
You field a team that's
just
not
the
JV on the
team.
Injury reserve.
Yeah,
dudes are just always out of the lineup.
Yep.
And Chris Paul is not helping that situation at all.
Not at all. Not at
He's
all.
making that situation worse.
Yeah,
that is such a Clippers move. Get Chris Paul to come, pay him a bunch of money, and then you've all three of them on the injured reserve.
We might as well send him AD too, because he can't stay healthy.
Have them all sitting out Game 5 of a pivotal series.
Yeah.
Steve Ballmer sitting there and we're like, what is my $150 million getting me? This. You're sitting on the bench. You're on the bench with them. You're on the bench right next to your 3 highest paid employees. You all can watch the game together.
Yep.
Wow.
Speaking of Smoking Joe, he says, if all 3 of you got on an SNES and play Street Fighter 2, who wins? And welcome back, Dev.
Me.
Not me.
Nah, Doc.
Me.
You about to get these hands from Ken. You're going down.
Nah.
It's a wrap.
It's
a wrap, son.
And it's a wrap, son.
I'm going to die just trying to figure out how to do shit. I'm like, all right, what is it? Down, right, up, down, right, X, down, right, B, down, what? Game over.
Yeah.
I'm at the
Keep going
Chun
down.
Li and just sit there and do the Chun Li kick the whole time.
You're not even gonna get. You're not even gonna get across the screen. We're just.
I'm
throwing
telling. I'm not
fireballs
trying
at
to
you.
get across the screen. I'm just doing the kick the whole time.
Wow.
Do the spinning round kick. Oh shit!
Spinning
Did you guys
round
see that? Did you guys see that? I do the Blanca, just all electricity all the time. I'm just there, just smashing. Just
Jesus Christ. That's just sad.
That is.
Yeah. So yeah, my kin is gonna put hands on Delvin's Ryu, and that's what's gonna happen.
were you about to get these
Yes.
hands?
Yeah, Ryu's getting his hands.
Nah,
He's
Ryu's
going down.
Wreck shop. Just like the
Nah.
canon of the game, right? Who's gonna win?
Look, sir, stop that.
Nah.
You're getting
I
your
am
ass
gonna
handed
get
to you.
Street Fighter 2. I
You
have
get
the
your ass
cabinet
handed
in
to
my
you.
house.
I like Battle Rock.
Especially on Super Nintendo.
Nah, son.
I played so many hours of Street Fighter.
You
on
might
Sega
have a
System
chance on
20.
Sega Genesis. Because
I would never. No, first of all, I'm not sullying my hands playing Street Fighter on Sega Genesis. That's blasphemy.
that was just
I don't
awful.
play that shit on Genesis. That's
trash.
gross. It's
It was
trash.
bad.
Even with the 6-button controller, trash.
It was just awful. It was really
I
bad.
don't play Street Fighter on Sega. Nah.
I changed my. I would pick Balrog. I'd probably still not lose, but at least get a couple punches in.
You wouldn't be picking Balrog because he's not in Street Fighter 2. Yeah.
Tried.
He is,
Sorry.
but not on the
You can't pick him.
SES version.
He's not a playable character. He didn't say Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Edition. He just said Street Fighter 2.
It's all the same.
It's not.
Playing the one that has Balrog in it.
Okay.
Still getting your ass handed to you.
It's probably true.
Yeah.
Probably true. I liked his level. All the colors and the Vegas and stuff. It's cool.
Yeah.
You would say that, and that's
It
so
was
funny.
cool.
Me listening to you talk about how much you like Street Fighter 6. I'm like, it's just all the pretty colors.
It
He
is.
just likes.
It is.
all
It
the
looks
colors.
so good. It looks amazing. It looks
It is
incredible.
They
is very
found a
pretty.
way to take Splatoon and all of its color craziness, add it to Street Fighter, and Donnie's in love.
But I'm also like digging the tension of like the breaks and stuff. Like I get the system and watching
Always
people like
been there.
counter the super move with the super move and then counter
That's
the counter.
always been there.
Nah, it's not the same.
That's
No.
not new.
The
Just
animations,
tell the truth.
the animations are way over the top than it used to be.
It's Cammy. That's the reason. I get
Well,
it.
like,
scary.
hey, you're not lying. Damn,
Yeah,
girls
yeah.
got cheeks for days. I mean, how could anybody not?
She doesn't actually have cheeks for days. She's got a really flat ass. She's not. It's
Oh,
not
come
like she's
on.
gotten ass.
Damn.
It's not. Come on. Let's just be real. She's
This
just
is
wearing a
egregious,
thong. She's wearing
preposterous.
a thong. She's not thick. She just wearing a thong.
What?
That's all that is. No,
Wow.
Sorry. Cammy does not get the seal of approval.
I
There's better looking chicks.
I haven't studied a lot, so I don't know.
Yeah. No.
No, Dev might be right. Yeah, she's not thick.
She's not.
I
She
don't
just
know.
happens to have.
She bends, it gets thicker.
There's
You know,
better
Capcom
looking.
just knows exactly what they're doing.
Yes. Did you see her animation?
look up.
Yeah, it's
Look up-
interesting.
They're
Yeah,
wild.
if she's standing still, you might be right, Dev, but she bends, you're wrong.
Sir, look up Armika. Just look up Armika.
Oh, Amika's yeah.
Rainbow
Capcom be
Mika.
doing what they
Just
be
look her up. All right.
Capcom.
Yeah, I'm
know
not
what they be doing. Yeah. Yeah.
I honestly haven't even seen Cammy like in any of the videos I've watched, actually.
There's a reason.
Most of
it's
the
on
videos
Twitter.
I've watched, actually, to this point, I don't think I've seen any of the female fighters. No, I saw like there's like one big like
There's a
buff
swole
wrestling
chick, yeah.
chick.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I saw her. But most of the folks I've been watching fight have been fighting is Ken. I've seen a lot of Ken, Guile, and Honda. Honda looks like he's a fucking just wreck shop. Or at least the guy I was,
a Donnie character right there.
dude, the guy I was watching play with him, like he was kicking ass. I was like, man, he must be really good. Damn. So
Yeah. Yarden is shifting gears yet again. He says, best car company of all time.
That's a good
Wow, he
question.
stumped you guys. I don't have an answer for this. I don't know enough about cars.
Ford.
no.
Best of all time?
I
like
would say
Ford,
it's
yeah,
probably
I'm gonna go
between Mercedes and Ferrari.
Really?
two things I can't afford. So no,
Yeah, basically. Yeah. You got nothing there.
I'll go 4.
Porsche,
Ford,
maybe?
I'm going with Honda. All right.
Porsche is a good
Honda.
mix between of all. Honda's a good pick, really.
Honda's my answer. I like the RSX. I
don't
like the
think they're
NSX.
as up there, but I mean, it's good. You can say
And they last
Volkswagen,
forever.
especially since they hold so many things now.
They hold so many things. I don't even
Yeah,
know
there's a
what
lot
that
of things that fall under like the Volkswagen company
means.
in terms of brands.
Honda and Acura. That's
Who did
all
they
I
just
got.
buy? They just bought somebody. Yeah, I'll find out.
Worst car company of all time. Daewoo.
I was going to say that exact same thing.
It's good.
That was
Dave.
exactly what I was going to say.
The Volkswagen Group operates in 153 countries. The Volkswagen is the group's original marquee, but they own other major subsidiaries, including passenger car brands as Audi, Bentley, Lamborghini, Porsche, and Skoda. So if you wanted to just look at like the parent company, like, it's hard to beat Volkswagen.
That's a lot of words that didn't mean much to me at all.
Volkswagen owns Audi, Bentley, Lamborghini, and Porsche. That's basically what you need to
Good
know.
for them. Good for
Yeah,
them.
there you go.
Porsche is very dominant in like performance car racing, especially outside of like what we think of like Formula One or NASCAR. Like
You
actual
mean
like
what you think of Formula One or NASCAR?
what
I
anybody.
don't think
Yeah,
either of
sure.
us are thinking of Formula One.
But like
We're
Le
thinking about the
Mans
cars
and
we see
stuff like that.
outside, Donnie. The
So is
cars that normal
BMW.
people drive, sir.
Well, the point I was trying to make was that in addition to being very dominant in that regard, Porsche also makes incredible street cars.
Those,
Right?
Yeah. Nope. We don't even consider Porsche. They're not real. It's not a real car.
What?
Nobody has a Porsche. All right.
Lots of people have Porsches. What are you talking about?
I don't. Those people aren't living in my reality. All right. So, welcome.
You guys are thinking like common man everyday car.
Absolutely, because I'm a common everyday man.
Yes.
The next question
Yes,
is the personal
exactly.
dream car, and that's when we can get to your pie in the sky shenanigans. Okay.
Well, okay, I agree. I mean, I understand the path you're taking, but like owning a Porsche isn't a pie in the sky dream car. Like a lot of people can own Porsches.
Not this guy. I wouldn't
Like
want
you
to
could
own
buy
one
a
if I
used
could.
Porsche for very. It's not like a Porsche is not a Ferrari.
Oh, I know that.
You could
I
buy
just
a used
have no
Porsche for
desire. Why?
$8,000. You know,
No, thank you.
you can't buy anything that says Ferrari for less than like $50,000.
Ferrari doesn't even exist. Okay.
Oh, it
It's not
definitely
real.
does.
It's not real.
But anyway, I would probably say like Mercedes. Audi's a second, a good one too. But probably Mercedes. Mercedes been around forever. They were making damn vehicles for the Germans in World War II.
Germans.
Yes, they were.
But they make great vehicles. They really do make great vehicles. They always have, and that kind of excellence is continued to today. And
All
they've
right, so Donnie
dominated.
says Mercedes. Delvin says Ford, and I'm going with Honda.
Honda.
Ford.
Honda's good.
Worst car company is Daewoo. And now your personal dream car.
The Homer Simpson
Start
car.
with you,
The
Delvin.
Homermobile.
I mean, dude.
The DeLorean from Back to the Future.
Come here.
The Homermobile beats the DeLorean and then some.
Yeah, that Homer car was perfect. Put them
The Homer
kids-
car
I
had
gotta hear 'em.
separate soundproof cabins for the kids and the parents. Not only could you put them in the back seat, the back seat was a completely separate room, a separate cabin. You didn't even hear them back there.
Give them their own music and everything.
Incredible. That's so far
I
ahead
could-
of its day.
I
Genius.
could go in the future and never see these people ever again.
You would go in the future and see us driving the Homermobile because that is the future of automobile technology. What was the stupid thing that had like 8 horns? 8
Mhm.
like separate horns? Had individual horns, multiple individual
Yes, it
horns.
did.
It had
You
a
can
stream
communicate.
deck for horns. Just lots of buttons.
What a grand idea.
Yeah.
Should be a real car. Still picking the DeLorean.
It should be a real car.
My dream car is a purple 70 Roadrunner or Challenger.
Nice.
You might actually get that.
No, I doubt it.
Nor your luck.
I'd have to come into a significant amount of money.
You might find some old wizard selling cars like,
A
hey,
70
I'm just trying to get rid
Roadrunner.
of this.
A 70 Roadrunner in shit condition is worth 40 grand.
Knowing
In
your luck,
good
you probably
condition,
find
it's
one.
worth 100.
You probably find one. Like, hey, I'm selling this for $15,000.
Chargers are a little more attainable. Maybe come down into the 30s a little bit. But yeah, that was always kind of my dream car.
I don't have a dream car. I really don't.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah,
That's so
doesn't have
sad.
dreams.
I don't care about
Just
cars
one that you
way.
really liked a lot? Every little boy had a car they just liked a lot.
I mean, there was a Lamborghini Countach that was
Okay,
really cool, but
that
I can't
counts.
say that was a dream car. I don't really care about
doesn't have
cars
dreams.
in that. I got plenty of dreams, just they don't revolve around cars. Just yeah.
You never watched Fast and Furious? You were like, man, I'm digging that skyline.
I watched plenty of Fast and Furious, but I was like, that's cool. Moving
Damn.
on.
That is dead.
Cars just don't do it for me. Just they never really have. Yeah.
So
So I
you
got
hit the
nothing.
lottery, you're just driving the same car you have now? You just don't
if I hit
care?
the lottery, I'd
Yeah.
probably just buy a Tesla and call it a day.
Okay. That counts.
So
Kind of shitty cars,
Now
but
his
sure.
Computer.
Not
On
great.
the other hand, his
Not
computer, on the
great.
other hand,
it's a computer. That's basically what it is.
Not great build
Android car.
quality.
I don't give a shit. Is
Yeah,
it gonna
but
get me to
yeah,
A
but-
from A to B?
It's questionable.
Yes? Okay. I don't have to
questionable.
buy gas. All right, we're good.
maybe.
You know, you don't have to buy gas, but you know, if you gotta wait 3 hours to recharge your battery, but sure.
Might
I'm
buy
not
a
going
car.
anywhere far enough that I'm gonna have to wait to charge the battery. Really, like I'm not going anywhere. That's the other thing. My barber just bought a Tesla.
Delvin,
Yes.
move off this hater. What's your dream car?
He's a DeLorean.
DeLorean.
Give me another answer. Give me an actual
I-
car, not some shit from a
What?
movie.
It is an actual car.
I know it is, but no. I know
Just
it
saw
is,
one
but
the other
no.
day, actually.
But you only
Just
care
saw it the
because of
other
the
day.
movie. It doesn't go into the future. You know, real car.
Even if it didn't
Why
go
does
to
he have to
Justin
give you?
Ward's
That's his dream car. Let that
God
man
damn
have
it, Dev! Shut up!
Don't be mad because you're the only one. Who
I'm
really
talking
cares
to
that much
Delvin.
about cars.
I'm
Let
talking
that
to
man have
Delvin.
his dream. Let him have his dream.
When I was a kid, I always wanted a Porsche 911.
See?
So there's that.
Beautiful. What a beautiful car.
I didn't want that when I was a kid.
I hope you get one.
Thought it was the coolest car in the world.
I drove one.
Oh,
Yeah, I've driven one. I drove a
How was
911 Boxster when I bought my wife a car a few years ago. Not too long ago, maybe 10 years ago now, ish. 2013, 14-ish. My wife wrecked her car, needed a new car. We didn't have a lot of money to spend, so I was buying a used car. And I went to a dealership, real shitty dealership, had a bunch of used cars. And they had a used 911 Boxer Turbo, and it had an egregious amount of miles on it, like 250,000 miles on it. They were trying to sell it. It wasn't super expensive, but it was outside of our price range. I wasn't actively looking to buy it. But we were looking at buying this other sedan, and my wife didn't come with me to buy it. I was just there, and it was like a buy here, pay here lot, right? So it's kind of like a one-on-one thing. And I told the guy, I was like, look, man, I want to buy this car. I'm going to give you the money you want for it. I was like, I've got cash. I said, but if I buy this car, I want to drive that car. And at first he was like, absolutely not. I had a friend of mine take me to go pick up the car. And I was like, no, I was like, I think you think I'm bluffing, and I'm not. I said, I will not buy this car today if you don't let me drive the Porsche. And he told me
good
no.
deal.
He told me no. And I left. I got in my buddy's car, and we got in the truck, and we left, and we made it about a mile down the road. And he called me, and he was like, all right, I'll let you drive it. He's like, you just can't go crazy with it. So we came back, and he gave me the keys, and I tore the shit out of that car for 15 minutes, man. I hit a huge, like, U-turn, like, just drift turn out of that thing at, like, maybe like 80 miles an hour across a 4-lane highway. It was a pretty rural area. There's nobody out there with us. We were by ourselves. But I mean, I just took it up and just fucking hit the brake and turned and just leaned into it. I mean, I went super nuts. About as crazy as I've ever got in the car. I got to about 105 before I kind of
awesome.
toned it down a little bit and then brought it back. Yeah, even for a car that old that had that many miles on it, I think it was maybe 2014, and it might have been like a 2001 model, something like that. One of the best clutch shifting experiences I've ever had. Like, that's the thing I remember about it most. The thing that I remember about it is it's roomier than it looks, and it shifted incredible. Like, you couldn't even feel it. Like, it just shifted like perfectly all the time. And I've driven several sticks, and it was just very different than any of those sticks I've ever driven. Nothing, just silence. Great conversation, guys. Thanks. Smoking Joe says, I heard a hot girl in high school say she dated anyone that had a Corvette. It's been my dream car since.
It's the midlife crisis car.
Corvettes are overrated.
One day you'll get.
They're not that great.
Yeah.
The new Corvettes are basically Ferraris. They're pretty crazy, pretty incredible.
I did see that.
They're not they're not my jam, like in looks, but in what they pack under the hood for the price, it's pretty incredible. They're pretty amazing. They're basically Ferraris.
Okay, anyway. Haley says, what class do y'all think best resembles traits from each of you from Diablo? The Necromancer, the Sorcerer, Rogue, Druid, or Barbarian? Donnie's the Barbarian. Duh.
Pretty much.
I'm the Necromancer because I'm dead inside.
That's not how that works.
It's dead.
The Necromancer raises the dead. They're not dead, dummy.
Well,
come on.
Dead. I don't know.
What are druids? Probably. Are they priests?
Druids are they're one with nature. They like deal monks? With like all the, not necessarily monks, but like they deal with nature and nature-based magic and things of that nature.
That sounds whack.
Animals, stuff like that.
Fucking Care Bears. Doing that.
I'm gonna be the rogue because I like rogues. I'm shifty.
Are you?
I'm hiding. I'm getting in the shadows. Yeah. I always play the rogues. That's how I get down.
Just because you play the rogue doesn't make you the rogue.
Yes, just how I am. It
says resembles traits.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely not a sorcerer. I'm not doing any magic. I'm not raising the dead. I'm not one with nature. And I'm also not a barbarian. Closest thing would be the rogue.
They don't have a ranger. I'd probably be like a ranger.
The closest thing to the ranger would also be the rogue because they deal with
rogues like steal shit.
No. But see, rogue is more than that. Like, for example, Han Solo was a rogue. A rogue is more like the kind of scoundrel, kind of charming character. That's what the rogue really is.
I'm charming. So yeah, I'll be rogue, I guess.
I'll be the rogue, I guess.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's me.
Yes, I'm a rogue.
And that does it for all of our questions.
I like this. The barbarian has unparalleled strength and expertly wields an entire arsenal in battle, with a weapon for every occasion. He bellows intimidating war cries and unleashes ground-shaking slams.
Yeah.
I dig it.
That's about right.
Like me in the Anthem.
Mm-hmm. Get in there, cause a lot of damage, beat the shit out of everybody. Stuff. Well, that does it for episode 90. 90 of the Play Some Video Games podcast.
Sure.
Give up counting.
I'm back. It's been fun. I
missed you.
Else.
And then you started talking about cars, and I was like, he could go away again.
Yeah. Oh, I did. You didn't see me? I disappeared, Barry. While you were talking, I was doing something else. I was looking at tickets for Into the Spider-Verse.
Back on vacation and kind of like I like last week's show. Miss you, Delvin.
I didn't finish it.
It's more fun, you know?
Yeah. You gotta have somebody to just Keep it spicy and get you guys off your nonsense like cars.
Yeah.
I got nothing
Nonsense.
for you there.
How dare you?
Maybach.
I'm sorry,
I
Danny.
like
I
Maybachs.
have Maybachs are nice. Sure.
Yeah, there you go, Dev. See Maybach. Maybach music.
Yeah, no, I still don't. I don't want that. No, thank you. If anything, give me an Acura Integra. How about that?
In this goddamn podcast.
Just to piss
Yeah, when
Donnie
you
off.
just said that.
Don't take your Scion ass home.
Yeah, got a sign. It's nice.
Is it though?
It does a job. I literally am just trying to get to work and back home. I'm not trying to go nowhere. Like I don't enjoy driving. So
Of course you don't.
in
You
the
live in
cars.
Bakersfield.
Even when I did live in Bakersfield, I've never enjoyed driving. I don't like driving at all. We're the self-driving cars. Why don't we have those yet? So I don't
We do
have
have
to
those.
drive. No, I mean like mass production. Like I need the grid system that is in Minority Report. Just give me that. It's
Says he
great.
hates the helmet, but he hates the VR, but he wants that.
Yeah. I don't want the VR thing. I want the other stuff from Minority Report. The fact that they were just able to move
Do
windows.
you?
No helmet needed. No helmet needed. And they have the
Do you
grid
want that
system
stuff
from the
Minority
cars.
Report?
I want those two things. I don't want
Think
that
about it when
precog
we watch
stuff.
that movie.
I don't want that
You know
stuff
what I'm
where we
saying?
think
You
about
might need
it.
to.
You might need to go rewatch that.
Might be time for a replay, a revisit there, Dev.
I said there's two things
Yeah.
that I said I want the driving stuff, and I
No,
want.
you
the
said you wanted
ability to
everything
just
else, is what you said.
You did. You 100%.
That's what the
like,
tape.
What?
If you roll the tape back, that was what
Sure.
was said.
I don't
Like-
want the helmet, and I don't want the precog. We think you might do a murder thing. That's
Yeah.
not cool. That's
I'd
that's
be in
got to
prison.
go.
I think about murdering people every day. I don't want that at all.
I mean,
no,
who wouldn't be in prison at that point?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, that's going to do it for episode 90 of the Play Some Video Games podcast. It's been real. Please go find us on Twitter and talk some trash. Find us on YouTube, Discord, Twitch, all of that wonderfulness. We're going to be streaming all of the different shows, the gaming shows for this E3, this not E3. So come hang out and watch us stream the shows. Interact with us and have a great
B3.
time. Yeah.
Also, just go to Discord and tell Dev cards he should get.
And I will promptly tell you that I don't see it happening.
Everybody want
And
to
then
know your
just send him
favorite
more
cars and why Dev should like them.
Yes.
Tweet at that Ninja Dev on Twitter. Your
Do that.
picture of your favorite car,
Please do that. Do all of that. Notifications are off.
and then tag them in Discord.
Notifications
Yes.
are off. All of that's going into the void. But please, by all means, show me all your favorite
worry.
cars that you think that I should have.
I will
And then
text
let
him
Donnie
Dev.
know why Delvin should
Yeah,
be able
right,
to
we'll
have his
text
damn
him.
DeLorean.
We can do this. We will tweet Dev's phone number. We have ways of making this happen. Okay, you think you're so damn clever.
Good Lord. Sons of bitches.